Hello, everyone. Welcome here today. We are starting off with the first set of season 15 in Style Esports, and it is going to be Lionel Esports versus the Rat Pack. We have Lionel on the blue side and Rat Pack on the red side. I'm VerdantChaos, and I'm joined by Abbatrombone. Say hi, Abba.
Hey, how's it going here? Well, looks like we're having a nice little season between these two teams. We're going to have to see what Lionel and the Rat Pack are going to be matching here as threats. My guess is there'll be some Wukong bans here, maybe some support or stuff that'll help out their bot sides as they are the stronger side, most likely in these matches, just because how it's been playing and how these players are lining up right now. So it looks like that Caitlyn ban is going to kind of confirm that there, Verdant.
So right now, I'm not too surprised to be seen. Obviously, Wukong ban, and okay, at least all right. Wukong has been very strong. AD junglers have been very strong. I would say number one for like priority pick has been like J4 into then Wukong in Vi. So I'm not surprised to be seeing them taken out of play. And the Rat Pack gonna be getting rid of either these two, some of these scaling threats with the Vigar and Jinx, and then getting the early snowball, getting rid of Elise. But Thresh has been a very good, just confident first pick. You can either play for the engage or disengage. I think it's a very flexible pick. So I
Yeah.
think that's a good priority grab.
Yeah, Friday we saw this first pick Thresh come out, and it worked so very, very well for that team. So we'll have to see if it's going to be the same case for Lionel Esports here. Of course, we're going to be seeing a snapback by the Rat Pack here. Jarvan, you said AD's jungler's pretty strong. Jarvan's one of those, Verdant. I would have to agree. He's going to be able to set things up quite well for his composition. We'll have to see what they're going to pair with it or not.
So if you
Yeah.
want you want, I think you want to pick your ADC here. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're gonna be picking Ezreal.
Okay, yeah.
Because
Ezreal.
then I was gonna say then you can go for like maybe like a safer mid lane option. Let's say like Syndra, where she can play fairly confident in most matchups, other than like Victor for pick 3, and then you can save your support for 4 to really just shape your team's comp identity. But we shall see what Lionel picks up here in this second and third grab.
Yeah, there's a couple of things they can pick here. Tristana, yeah. So being able to jump on a carry is one of Jarvan's strengths here, but the rocket jump, Tristana's W, will get you out of that trouble there. It's very good to get out. And of course, you can always just press your R button and knock people away out of it. So you're just kind of trapped in that cone as well. So very wise pick up here. And you pair well with a Thresh as your support, more mobility from rocket jump into the lantern, etc. So you can just kind of come in from anywhere being a big threat. You're a nice hyper carry as well. And then Maokai also is going to provide some big peeling for Lionel Esports here. Maokai most likely being in the jungle. I would expect a Rat Pack to go for looks like they go for a top laner here. I was going to say probably a support, as they already know what support they're going to be with. You have the AD carry, the bot lanes, and the jungles. That makes sense. But Cassante can go in the mid lane. I've seen it work quite wonderfully, so it's not necessarily going to be in the top, but that is where he usually is.
Yeah, right now across a lot of echelons of play, Cassante has been quite dominant, quite strong, able to just pull off a lot of capability. You can either obviously play his base style of tank, or if you use all out, you can then turn into a very vicious bruiser. So he can kind of really be malleable with his build paths. But I think I have to agree that Maokai is going to be in the jungle. We just saw so much of that in the early season 13. That sorry for these like first like three months of season 13. So I wouldn't be surprised. But they're going to be getting rid of Twitch. Twitch is definitely annoying.
Yeah, but both AD carries are picked out, and if we think Maokai is there, they would expect them to go mid or top, which is not something you typically see. I could see like an AP Twitch going mid. You still have the AP damage, and you can roam around as your marksman assassin. So interesting pickup. And then Kaisa to go with it. Maybe
they could be thinking Trista's mid.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go for. They could think Tristana is mid, which is certainly a possibility there, as you can get a lot of value out of it as well. Just recognizing that threat is very good from the Rat Pack there.
If you think it is Tristana in the mid lane, I think that you still would want to go Syndra. yeah, Syndra being able to just shove away, get the stun is just quite
But,
strong, and you
but
need a little bit more AP damage coming down the side of the Rat Pack. It really round you out quite efficiently, but they're going to be going with the
ooh,
Karma Grab here for support. Very good, very nice disengage, able to
Karma
and
mid,
help positively augment your teammates.
yeah. It could also go for a Karma mid, just trying to
Oh yeah, yeah,
stop
yeah.
Tristan. Of course, well, you're not going to be able to lock them down with the rocket jump as much, but you have so much damage with Mantra Q that it can be difficult for her to deal with because she doesn't have a range until she gets some of those abilities. But with Victor being hovered here, that does suggest they might be thinking for Victor mid. So this is pretty much going to confirm that Tristana is going to be into the bot side. And we'll have to see what their final pick is here. Well, this will confirm if Maokai's in the jungle or if he ends up going top at all, which we've suggested it is less likely, but still on the table until this pick happens. Ornn, another beefy character for these hyper carries. Tristana and Victor are going to be able to utilize this front line so well here, Verdant. Just being
Yeah.
able to poke from afar or go in, follow up on any of these engages from Call of the Forge Gods or the Death Hook or the Box or any of that. It's going to help all of these abilities line up successfully. So the zone control coming out of Lionel Esports in the team fight, and they still have some pick potential, means they have a very strong composition in my mind. On the flip side, though, Rat Pack going with Talia, an interesting pickup for them. You can't jump out of those weaved earth. So that could stop some of Tristana's mobility, which is an interesting pickup. One that I wasn't necessarily considering, but I think could pay dividends for the Rat Pack.
Absolutely. On the side of Lionel Sports, you have 4 different characters with dashes in their kits. So being able to stop some of those kind of dead in their tracks could be quite efficient. Like looking at these comps, who do you think has the edge immediately in your mind?
So the early game should go to the Rat Pack, mostly because of like Karma and Talia is like pretty decent to the early game. Ezreal also is fairly strong in the early game, pretty comparable to Tristana, so I can't necessarily say which way that's going to go. But I think because of J4 and Karma, I can safely say they have the early game. And at this echelon of play, that matters a lot more than it typically would. So that's where I would put my money if I was to bet.
Okay. I think that I think I maybe give a slight edge to the Rat Pack here, because J4 is very easy to execute in general. I have to agree with that. Cassante can be a bit like Cassante hard counters out Ornn.
Yeah.
In the top lane, and then in the bot lane, I don't know if. No,
so it's a tricky matchup.
If Ezreal has a good head on their shoulders, you don't ever get caught by the death sentence, and you don't get all in. So then Karma's the one in possible quote unquote possible trouble, but then she has just so much shielding with the Mantra Q or Mantra W, sorry, where it's like
it's so hard to jump in. Notable that Ezreal and Karma are a poke composition, and poke tends to be kill lanes, as if Thresh or Tristana are too low, they can never jump in or go for their hook because it's just too deadly for them, especially if you can just shift away. So that also gives them an edge. Not to mention, they're going to be more likely to be at their side, as it's pretty easy to push as Tristana inadvertently.
So, jungle wise, Maokai, I'm kind of curious to see what he's going to be building. If he's going to be going for kind of that phase rush style of build, really trying to get in and just weasel their way into that backline. But I think that's going to be a little bit difficult for him to do, considering the kind of Talia Karma are really going to be thoroughly disincentivizing that. And Ezreal is hard to grab, obviously having the arcane shift, and then if he ever has flash up, that's very hard to really space that correctly. So I think this is just going to be slow team fights, and you only have Victor and the Sapperlings as poke.
Yeah, Tristana has some like range to go with it, but yeah, it's pretty much just those two to go with it. But the other thing is, I think they have a pretty healthy engage with Ornn and Maokai, the healing, so they can take some of this poke and obviously dish some of it back. The wards super important to set up there, as if the Lionel Esports shows up right away, they have so much zone control. Ornn loves to fight in these jungles. Of course, Ezreal and Karma do, as you're able to land your skill shots a little bit more easy, but Ornn's going to have a easier time to line up their crowd control, which is more important as well. Arcane Shift, super long cooldown, so you can only bail yourself out so much.
I think another important thing to note is for Lionel Esports, you only have Tristana as your AD threat.
Yeah.
You have nothing else in that sense. So you could technically just build around just shutting her down, and like with her out of the game, then you just build MR from there, and you could be able to just tank them to the cows come home.
Yeah. Cassante, Force of Nature,
Oof.
Bramble.
Oof. Yeah. That would be quite rough. But just hey, we talk about the Rat Pack in the early game. We know that in some of these recent patches, I think it was 13.6, they kind of lowered the like positive effects that dragons give you. Should the Rat Pack be focusing dragon, or should they just want to go for that early aggressive lead to get the Herald, try to get more of those turret plates, or how should the J4 be looking to play this early portion of the game?
If you get a lot of kills right away at the beginning, you can make the sacrifice for that earlier dragon. But I don't necessarily see that being the case, as people can play fairly safe and they've got some HP to play around with. Uh, the thing is, if you have a lead and you go for dragon, you spend more resources than you typically would if you do it later for dragon, and you need to get those plates and get that pressure up. One dragon, not a whole lot of pressure. It's not like you're going to be forcing out more fights. It's not like that second dragon is going to be more tasty or anything. You're putting a pretty big gamble there. So I don't think early dragons is the play. I've been wrong before, but I'm not a betting man, but that's where I put my money.
Yeah, I think it definitely a lot of these sets that we've casted, especially since like 13.6, it has been very much a negative tempo play across the board. But yeah, if J4 has basically gotten out a lot of those summoners, or has gotten the summoners plus a kill on top of that, just across a lot of these lanes, I think that yeah, it's very much justified to go for dragon. But
Well,
we will have to see. Yeah,
even then, it's not great, because if you're low in resources, you can't do it. And if you can't get a back after taking that dragon, like get a good push and then get a back afterwards, you can't take that dragon, as they're going to be coming back with gold spent, and then you necessarily haven't, which makes things super awkward for you. And I just don't like early dragon plays. And with some of the games we've been casting recently, right? It's been 8 or 9 minutes before that first dragon even falls.
yeah. But I think at the end of the day, Rat Pack needs to end before 35 minutes. If you get past, yeah, like if you get past 35 minutes, you are in a world of hurt. You got Victor, Ornn, Tristana. You got the good triple threat here. Ornn giving out the ornaments is just going to allow him to scale harder. Victor obviously has the Hex core, so he's just going to scale quite nicely. You technically do have infinite scaling with Thresh, but we're not going to be looking at that. But for the most part, on the side of the Rat Pack, you have Ezreal that plays for late game. Talia, you can make an argument for, but Cassante, I don't think he goes as hard as he doesn't go as hard as late as Ornn does.
Yeah, I just realized Talia can really utilize Jarvan, not just because he can lock a Cataclysm in like the rock fields, but she can also knock people back into the cage too with her.
Yeah. So there's going to be definitely a lot of wall shenanigans. Plus, you have
then,
Cassante having the all out. So
yeah,
that could
you don't get to utilize that quite as much, but just being able to make sure Ezra hits all of his skill shots, being in that small zone is good. I was thinking about, so that will be big boy plays, just trying to get those zones up, get the jump on people. Super important, especially if they can get Tristana out, right? Like that's one of their big threats, or Victor.
Yeah. But while we wait for the Spectre delay to run on down, we are just going to be pushing it to a short break. We're going to be right back on the Rift. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see you shortly. Hello, everyone. We are back on the Rift. We have the Rat Pack on the red side, and we have Lionel Esports on the blue side. We're going to be getting right into it, and the Rat Pack is going to be all stacking together as a pack. Rats together, strong together.
Yeah, rats together, strong. We'll have to see if any vision's going to be fought for on the other side, or if this death push is going to happen. Oh, looks like Lionel Esports is respecting the Rat Pack here, not going in too deep to try and sniff out where the jungler is at all. So good news for both teams. This did come at the cost of a couple of wards here, but other than that, not too expensive for the Rat Pack. And we'll have to see where these first bloods are going to be drawn out here. There's so much potential for some fights to happen, some skirmishes to really change where it's going to happen. So it's going to be hard to commit. One thing to note, though, is that you are next ended up going for a Dorian's Blade. But on the flip side, we're seeing triple pot longsword. So there's going to be a little bit more damage. So they might be ready for some more fights there.
So we might be seeing that 2 extra damage coming out of that long sword at the cost of that 80 health. Maybe it's going to have a little bit variance of these early team fights.
Well, but it also gets you to your mythic sooner.
Yeah.
And the triple refill lets you trade some HP a little bit easier for health.
Yeah, no, that's quite fair. I think another interesting thing to note is we have Jonah Arc. They decided to go for the phase rush still, which I still think is a quite a strong keystone for them. Could you have made arguments for other ones? Absolutely, but they are going to be doubling down and going for this, so I'm not too surprised. But Benko's that's going to be Lost Cause, just getting some of these nice early stacks. But Benko in the mid lane is going to be going first strike, opposed to his other laner Abito going for the summon Airy. So Benko is feeling quite confident of being able to stay far enough back, get these procs without taking any of the Talia poke in return.
Well, you have 3 seconds to get it back for some of the money as well, because that's when it gets procced. But Talia's range isn't super long, but she can get some guaranteed setups with her summon area build. Soul pushing in the top side, trying to choke out some XP from, Sexy Clown, trying to get him, make him drop some farm as well.
What a name. What a name. But gonna be right now just gonna be going for a lot of these just quick trades in the top lane. I think this is just gonna be a wet noodle contest, but at the end of the day, you are going to be able to escape a lot of these knockups across the board with from Ornn as Cassante. He has the unstoppable proc, so I think it's just going to positively go over to Lost Cause. Plus, Ornn requires a lot more mana to clear out these creep waves.
That's true. That's very true. All right. No one has quite dropped yet. Playing pretty disciplined here. Both junglers having pretty comparable clears, but it looks like they're going for opposite ends here, playing for the bot side versus playing for the top. It's going to be kind of hard for Bay goals to get an invade shares. All the camps are down, and with Lost for Cause being so far pushed up, it's hard for him to go here. So it's going to be going, forcing the flash.
That's good. That's good.
That's good.
Getting that out of him early, quite strong. And then that just kind of opens Talia up to kind of look for more ambitious plays if she so desires. Right. So far we have kind of just seen. That was a nice grab onto that. Benko is low mana, so he might be in a struggle here. Doesn't have the upgraded hex score. Hito is willing to trade some of this health for Benko's health. Benko is not going to be able to return a lot of this damage at some point, and he's already had to chug through both of his pots. By comparison, Hito hasn't had to drink any.
Yeah, refill biscuits are also on the table here. Oh my goodness.
Nice grab out of the brush.
Didn't do too much. The mantra, though, in return did end up missing completely. So it looks like they're sitting pretty healthy here, but with this wave being pushed under and with their jungler coming in, there's a potential gank setup here. Maybe they'll try and get some people chunked out. They don't have the vision pushed out of the wave, so they'll catch them if they try to go for a lane gank.
Oh, that's a nice grab onto Bagels. They're going to be going all in on a Kunji. That's going to be an exhaust used on at Bayron. That's going to be another jump. That was going to be a very nice knockup. Going to be stopping that. Are they going to be getting Bayron before he goes after him? That's going to be first blood going over to Bagels, and Kuji's just barely surviving on that overall play. That was a really nice stop by Bagels.
Yeah, the flag and drag coming in there, getting that under. They didn't quite have the vision to see if a Jarvan was going to come up. Of course, they were over by their tower, so Vision the River wouldn't have done that, but that does change the dynamic of how this ends up going. And just interrupting that rocket jump. It's very linear, so it's very easy to land that combination, and was just very well played by the Rat Pack.
Yeah, the important thing to note, like, Goji has been hitting these hooks very consistently into just blind brushes and doing a great job of just grabbing these.
Yeah,
Right now, this could be at Hito in trouble. Jovark is now going to be having some teammates come through the, and that's going to be called the Forge God. That's just going to be Hito going down.
Don't forget about Banco also there, getting the kill secured with their ultimate on the Hito there. Very good for them. That is more Hex Core. Gets closer to your Hex Core items there with a kill.
Right now, obviously, we've had and not too many kills. This is just being very, very passive so far. Do you think it's able to look for this dragon yet? I mean, we are getting to the 7-minute mark. We have people with Iron Spike. We have Iron Spike chain onto Bagels. Do you think there's enough of a opening for them to go for that, or not yet?
I don't think it's quite enough of an opening. They're gonna need to be fighting for lane priority here. Some kills were happening. Yeah, I guess they did get some backs here recently, so there's an opportunity, but they could maybe wait a minute or two and still try and go for it. These first buys are super important, and they ended up getting them. But if they can't get these vision lined up quite yet with the wards being down in the Rat Pack, that makes things a little bit more awkward for them. Being jungle and support are down wards. The other side, they might be able to go for on Lionel Esports as they have their vision locked and loaded. 2 wards on both the AD carry and mid lane.
Whoa. Oh, that's a nice grab and return by Lost Cause. Being able to just play through that brittle proc, get the stuns, get the pullback. Yeah, we're just slowly but surely seeing just how much that Lost Cause is just gonna further dictate this lane. Orin's already starting to go down a little bit in CS. The only positive advantage he has is the Living Forge. Jovark quite low here, going to be able to get away with that phase rush. That's going to be flash out from Goji. The twisting advance going to be stopping that, but You Are Next is going to be getting the pickup on a Goji. Now they're going to be switching it over to Jovark. They're going to be getting the pickup there. Bayron jumping in is able to use the ultimate to push it away. Kunji is trying to get the slow, unable to do anything. Bayron's going to be jumping in, getting that kill, and getting on out, and Hito just killed himself out of the tower for Bayron. That's going to be a triple kill going over to it, but we have Banco here in the bot lane. Kunji just going to be trying to, squirrel around, but this is just going to be an inevitable death on Kuji here. So that's going to be a massive blooder for the side of Rat Pack, unable to take down Bayron. They had a really good start to it, but they really overcommitted into that tower.
Yeah, Banco's rotation. They're really recognizing the gravity of the situation. They're getting some of those kills there, and they just went too deep in. Die by the Rat Pack, live by the Rat Pack, and they just try to dive at Tristana there. They had their resets and ended up dying because of it. Just a little too greedy, putting things 5-4. It's still not even 1,000 gold difference with how this went, but it does matter who this gold went on to. So an extra 500 gold lead on Bayron, which is pretty good for them, as they should be pretty close to a mythic. Of course, they went to the boots, so they won't be quite there.
Ooh, Bayron jumping into the mid lane. Hito going to be going down again. That's going to be the reset. AHE is just going to get autoed down into Oblivion, and Bayron just chunking out now an even larger lead over their lane opponent, and Hito just taking a lot of just early deaths at this point. And there's 1,000 gold difference out of the mid lane.
More than 1,000, 1,100, which is about the gold difference. A little under that, right? But it's a Victor. It's a big carry. The other carry got a lot of kills.
Yeah, that's going to be quite scary. I think that was a very nice dodge there. But at this point, Bayron's getting down to half health. At this point, I think Talia is going to be kind of more relegated over to your kind of your team fight control. Like I think the Unraveled Earth is going to be the number one aspect for her. I think you can't be looking at like her as the wholehearted carry at this point. Or like if she does, she needs to play it a little bit slower. I don't know if she can do roams anymore. Uh, I think this Talia's in a very tough position.
She is in a tough situation indeed. They're really gonna need to be relying on bagels to set things up, and then for you are next to get some of these kills and really hit that like divine sunderer into their tier item and Amura. And if they can't get that unlocked fast enough, it'll be quite difficult. We did mention that they were the stronger early game team, and they're going to be able to kind of wombo combo some stuff out with bagels. But being this is at such a differential here, not looking good.
There's going to be Lost Cause going head-to-head against Joan of Arc and Clown. Yeah, used all out already. Joan of Arc getting quite low. That's going to be a double flash away using the shield. That's going to be a brittle proc from Clown, just going to be taking down Lost Cause in the top lane.
That is not good for them. Of course, the rotation being super important, being able to get that out there as well. And they weren't able to take anyone out. It was so close. They used their flash to try and get stuff out, but the Hex flash coming from D-Arc is still online for them because they went for that rune setup. So they can still do some bush cheese, Hex tax flash out, and just get on to people.
Bagels is going to be spotted in the bot lane. Okay, so he's at least going to get the Herald out. That's good. That's good. If they do shove this in, they do have the Demacian standard to accelerate this shove, but right now you're going to be having Banco coming to help match Hito, and you have the Sapper lane's going to be deterring people from going for this. So I think this push is going to die before it really gets anywhere. So looking at obviously the kills, it looks like it's very, very different, but do you think that Bagels, like now having a Mythic versus Bayron, who doesn't have it yet, like obviously they haven't gotten that nice back timer, they're going to be going for a possible cheesy play here. Do you think that that's going to be enough to potentially get the shutdown off of Bayron?
They've been able to play pretty safe and respectable here. That might not be enough, especially if they're able to get a reset here.
Ooh, that's a nice hook onto him, and that's going to be trouble for next, but he's going to get art out by Tristana. Going to be surviving through that fight. That's going to be Bagels jumping in onto Banco. That's going to be the Cataclysm used. The Chaos Nova is going to be putting in some work against Bagels, but Banco in trouble. Will he be taken down? And that's going to be a 200 gold shutdown going over to Talia in the mid lane, going to give her the little bit of lifeblood she desperately needed.
Yeah, 4 people to shut down the mid laner is quite a lot, which means the return of getting so many plates from the bot side under their carry, it's a pretty comparable macro play here. Bot side, not the most important turret of them all. It's not like mid lane where it tends to be able to push stuff out, and games will end if you lose mid lane a little too hard here. But that being said, more gold onto these big name carries for Lionel Esports is exactly what they want to be seeing as the scaling team. The laning phase has officially ended now at 14 minutes, and they're sitting at about 1,000 gold lead, which, as the scaling team, is quite good for them, as I've said.
So now that you have obviously the lead for this scaling team, what do you need to do to put your foot on the gas pedal and just start to choke out Rat Pack from this game?
Recognizing item spikes is going to be pretty important here. You're not going to be losing these fights as hard as you would have expected with how this earlier game went. Of course, you can still throw with 1,000 gold lead here. If you don't respect Bagels and the follow-up that's going to come from their team, you can still lose, right? But it does make Rat Pack's strategy a little bit harder to execute. It's still doable. They just have to still play for time a little bit, although they will probably hit their spikes a little bit sooner. So that 35 mark might be like looking more like a 32 spike instead.
Yeah, I can definitely see that as being a viable option. And an important thing to note is we were kind of talking to the pregame that you need to shut down Bayron, or otherwise, like Bayron was the only AD threat coming out from the side of Lionel. And with that being just kind of not destroyed your bot lane, but just finding a lot of these kills across the board, getting that amazing triple play that we saw earlier. That's going to be forcing Cassante now to have to build that Iceborne Gauntlet. He usually wants to go Iceborne Gauntlet, but it's going to find a bit more value versus potentially maybe like a Jack Show or a Radiant Virtue. But now we're going to be getting into that's going to be twisting and advanced use. Kunji is in trouble. That's going to be another reset. That's going to be flash coming out from him. That's going to be Bayron getting quite going down to half, but he's going to be turning a lot of that damage, and Hito's going to get picked up by Joan of Arc. Now it's Cataclysm used. Are they able to? They are able to get that max range hook, and that's going to be Bayron getting the pickup. He's going to be able to further jump in there. That's going to be him picking up Lost Cause, hopping over the wall. He's not going to be able to get there re-assist. But now it's just You Are Next all by himself. That's going to be 4 people going down on the side of the Rat Pack. Disaster.
Not quite an ace, but a lot of hooks were followed up there. Good use for the engage and disengage. The reset, super important from Byron as well, which led to these fights happening. We talked about how important fighting the jungle here is, as you're able to land all your skill shots, the hooks being important, and then, of course, Orin really likes the terrain as well. First tower coming down online here without the assistance of a Rift Herald. That just shows you how far ahead this Tristana is. Bayron sitting at 7,700 gold here, almost pushing to 800, which is 2,000 over their enemy laners. And not to mention the level lead here as well. You can get gold back with shutdowns. You cannot get XP. And with level 11 coming up shortly, that second point into your ultimate is a game changer for this team.
Absolutely. And an important thing to note about Bayron, obviously there is the potential option of going for Tristana with Hail of Blades, but he obviously went lethal tempo, so it's not going to be falling off as much as that Keystone would. So having that much money on Tristana as she's gaining more range off of her passive as the game goes on could just spell a possible game over for the side of the Rat Pack. Don't want to be too doom and gloom, but as at current progression, it's not looking great.
I'm also a little concerned about You Are Next's build. I thought they were going for Divine Sunder because of the nature of Lionel Esports composition, but they ended up going for Trinity Force here. Trinity is usually pretty good against like more squishy compositions. Of course, Dirk is also an option, but you'd expect like Divine Sunder or perhaps like a Kraken build for tanks.
Yeah, I mean, considering we already see the Lost Cause and Clown just going to be going at it. I think wow, that's actually a fair bit of damage. But you have Jack Show, Radiant Virtue. You do have Shurelia's Blessing instead of a potential Locket. So Goji is really just
Shurelia's is like the staple though for Karma being Radiant Virtue has been nerfed a little bit.
Well, I'd say for Goji, but this is going to be Lost Cause in potential trouble here, trying to get away as best he can, but he is not going to. That's going to be Bagels using the Cataclysm. Going to be locked out all by himself. Bayron still ripping through their team, and You Are Next is going to be getting that. Going to be going down.
City.
That's going to be Joan of Arc coming through, and it's You Are Next all by himself. Really be able to get and pick up some kills here. That's going to be going in against Joan of Arc, but that's going to be a full ace. They are going to be taking down Bayron, getting that big shutdown over to Bagels, but it won't matter. That's going to be a 1 for 5, and that's 100% worth it.
One of you will die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. As they're taking out this second Rift Herald here. It's getting pretty close to 20 minutes, so they have to take it now or forever hold their peace. That being said, mid tower coming down, bot tower already down. 16-6, Verdant. Almost pushing a 6K gold lead. This is what you want as the scaling side. You want to be this far ahead. It's only going to get better for them.
I just want to go back. That was probably one of the sadder impressions of John Lithgow I have ever heard. I just want to, I just want to say that. But now that you have Herald, you have the first tower, you're going to start to open up a lot more of this map. You have Baron coming up in 8. Do you think that 6K is enough to go for this Baron?
6K is a little bit risky with a lot of this money being not cashed out yet. Of course, you had some people back, but you want to make sure you have some of these waves out. I would like for like top tower to potentially be going down so that it's a little bit easier for them to push out for vision and make sure it's safe. Baron fights are enough to throw things, but if they play things disciplined up and know when to turn, which I expect out of Lionel Esports, I think they'll be able to take a Baron.
Ooh, that's a really good heads-up play. That by Bagels, they're going to be proxying the wave, pulling him back, and that could be putting Clown in trouble. He has the Jack Show going. Going to be getting a lot of this reduction, but that Black Cleaver does not care, and that's going to be Clown going down in the spot lane, getting 2 objective bounties. But Bayron coming in, ripping through, going to be taking down Hito, and now has the jump active. Bagel's trying to survive the best he can, but Byron still has that jump. And that's too much CC coming in from Goji. That's going to be a double kill for Bayron.
Yeah, just landing those hooks. Able to get a lot of gold. Bayron being super far ahead. Oh,
Ooh,
no.
Banco absolutely ripping Kunji apart there.
Yeah. It's not what you want to be seeing. They got some movement speed to try and get out, but it's not looking particularly great for them here, especially being... Oh, no. Do they have the final? No, they have the Frost Fang. They have the Frost Fang. So they're at their second one. Meanwhile, the bulk of the mountain here, the bulwark of the mountain, is fully complete there. So they're behind with the poke support item.
Yeah. I mean, another important thing to be looking at is just the absolute vision dominance coming out from the side of Lionel. We talked about it in the pregame. That vision is going to be quite important, and you have the sapper lanes coming in from Joan of Arc, and they're able to just throw them in there, be good, just like bush anti-bush net cheese, going to throw the show you that extra vision temporarily, and just going to be able to just move up that warding line, and we're going to be seeing 49 vision on Goji versus their counterpart of 25, so nearly doubling.
Yeah, just want a quick mention: third Drake, soul point up. For them, they don't necessarily need soul to win, but it's a nice win condition to force fights out. And when you are able to win all of these fights here, it makes it so dangerous for the Rat Pack to try and push vision scores out, to get these wards out to increase your vision score. It makes it a lot more difficult, and it makes it harder to defend your vision as well, so you're not going to be able to get stuff, which just makes things a lot harder on the enemy support.
So we have a 4K gold deficit on the side of Rat Pack. That could be much worse for them at this point in time, but they still have the objective bounties coming through. What do they need to do in order to come back into this game?
At this stage in the game, they have to recognize when a mistake's being made.
Speaking of, that's going to be Bayron going down immediately. You are next going to be getting that pickup. That's going to be the twisting advance coming through, trying to disincentivize them, but that's going to be Banco picking up the kill onto Bagels. Now Banco getting a double kill. Chaos Nova is down, but he's still putting out a lot of damage. Banco not getting the triple, and is now getting the triple. Did he get the quadra? And oh no, he didn't get the quadra. But Banco put out a lot of damage there.
Yeah, it was looking so good for the Rat Pack with that setup. They just sniped out one of their big carries on the enemy side, and then it just didn't happen after that. They just didn't have the damage. They were too far behind here. That was probably their best shot, right? Like, it wasn't going to get super better for them, and they just lost. This is going to be an inhib. People to come back. They still have a lot of HP and resources to play with. They could rotate into a potential Baron. They might want a little bit more health back or top pushed out a little bit more, but they're going to be able to set up a lot of vision to make this decision right now. It looks like they're preparing for Baron right now, but not necessarily committing to it, which I think is a wise decision.
Yeah, obviously you need Bayron to be there to just help you rip through this. But Bayron just going to be kind of splitting up the build, and initially had the Zeal build, but is now going to be getting the Vamp Scepter into the Cloak of Agility. So it looks like they might be going for the Bloodthirster here.
Yeah, just an extra little bit of shield to help keep them alive. They're a pretty primary target, and the extra healing are pretty nice. Ooh, we're seeing a pause here. It looks like they top laner D seat, so lost for cause. We'll have to wait for things to happen here, but I think this is a good opportunity to talk about some of these builds here that we were alluding to earlier on here. Some of the ornaments already online, as Sexy Clown is at level 14, so the Jack Show has finally been upgraded at this stage into the Unspoken Parasite, like you said. which is just pretty good for them. Having some nice wave clear here with the Sunfire Aegis as well.
It'll be interesting to see what the next ornament he can give out. He can give up another one at 14. So it could be Primordial. I think you could make a good argument for the Primordial Dawn, or you could go for Wormfall and Sacrifice.
Yeah.
I have Luden. Benko's putting out a lot of damage, so like I think
that's pretty good arguments all around. Too. Yeah, it's probably just not support. They're not going to be putting it on to.
Okay, yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I think it. I think since they are going to be going for the healing aspect and just keeping people alive, and just the longer the team fight goes on, you're just going to have Benko and Byron just ripping through. I think it would be best to put it on the Primordial Dawn, because Maokai still just has found a lot of value in these team fights. Ooh.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this Dark Seal is going to be changed over to a Magi. It looks like they're not buying that. They're not listening to the One Ring to rule them all, to try and kill the enemy team out here, staying at 10 stacks only. They do have a death cap, though, so they're going to be pumping out the damage like there's no tomorrow, especially with a nice level lead there as well. They pretty much have a level lead across the board here. Only in the jungle are things tied out.
Important thing to note is we now have a Knight's Vow onto Bayron. So Bayron is just getting slowly but surely tankier and tankier. And the longer this goes, it's going to be very, very hard to get rid of the ever pesky Bayron. And that's going to be Wormfall and Sacrifice going over to her.
Yeah, yes, they are. And don't call me Shirley. Oh, but do hook.
Oh, that's gonna be quite nice. Lead up, and that's Bagel is caught out instantly, and that's gonna be called the Forge God, twisting another down. Benko's gonna be getting the pickup. Lost Cause trying to play it for enough time, but Kunji's gonna be going down slowly but surely, and now it's Lost Cause with the bomb on him. Gonna be using the all out on Bayron, not gonna be able to get anything. Hito gonna be flash away. Does Goji get the hook? He does not. It's just gonna be thank you. You are next. All by themselves with a very low Talia. They could, they do have Dragon coming up in 30, but they're just going to be shoving for this. We don't need a Baron at all. We can just crash right into these towers.
I can hear the Toho song "Get Down" with the Ronald McDonald remix right now with Sexy Clown just knocking people around.
What a call out. That's going to be, so much damage coming in for Benko. He is godlike. That's going to be a very nice hook. That's going to be Flay into the box. You are next trying to get away from this best you can. Bagels is going to be getting the pickup on Goji. Are they going to be able to get Bayron? You are next going to be getting Bayron, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to be tower going down. The Demacian standard giving not going to be enough attack speed for the Rem.
Very well played by them. If the game did end up going longer, they were certainly favored here, but the early game strategy not quite coming to fruition here from the Rat Pack means that game one goes to Lionel Esports.
So with kind of all of that in mind, who do you think is just the MVP of that? Because we definitely saw a lot of big boy plays coming out from Bayron, but Benko was just hitting like a train.
There's Benko, the Roms. Actually, no. Benko was the Tristana. Who's the victor again?
No. Bayron was the Tristana, and Benko was the victor.
Oh yeah, Benko. Okay. Yeah. Both starting with a B there. Yeah, just being able to roam to top and bot and just pump out that much damage, MVP that round, no problem. Okay.
All right, we are just gonna very quickly just get ready for draft for game 2. We're just gonna stay live for this, but we are just gonna. I'm just gonna focus on this for a little bit. But kind of for game 1 into game 2, what would you really change for the Rat Pack? Do you keep the same sides? Do you want to throw in an extra ban? How do you want to play this out?
Well, they didn't win top lane super hard with the counter pick. Right, which wasn't a necessarily great win condition for them. And then Talia also got the counter pick and didn't win their mid lane. So if they're picking red side here, they need to utilize the draft a little bit better. I don't think they drafted bad, but I don't think they utilized their draft to its full potential. And I don't think they got the lead that they needed. So just finding ways to utilize the composition a little bit more and maybe push a lead and set a lane to have a guaranteed setup to push that early lead if they go for that, or maybe go for a more formal 5v5 challenge. Because they had some really good communication between their teams, lining things up. Even when they were behind, they were still pumping out the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, top lane did pick way before Ornn did, so Ornn did counter pick themselves in that particular in that particular match. But yeah, we didn't see just an absolutely dominant K'Sante just wiping the floor, which I didn't think that we were gonna just see like an ocean in the top lane, but definitely was not able to just kind of crush through these towers. Like Ornn just played it ridiculously slow and just stayed even on levels, just played for time, gave out ornaments, and with that, I think just overall won. But yeah, Taliyah as the counter pick, it
was an interesting idea with the composition that they had. It just didn't end up working, right? Like that happens.
To the best of us, yes.
Yeah, but when Victor outroams you with your Great Wall, that's not great. As that's like a very good way for you to get some of this mobility here. Because you can just move around.
All right. So we aren't going to be changing sides at all. We're going to be having Lionel Esports on the blue side, Ratpack on the red side. So Ratpack, just feeling still confident with this red side. And we should be going under draft here very quickly.
Very cool. Oh, looks like they're readying up here. I think Lionel Esports can just kind of run back the same composition. They don't really need to change things up. Of course, if bans happen, that has to change, as things will dictate here. But Caitlyn makes a lot of sense here. Veigar, same thing. Has been pretty dominant in the bot lane, funnily enough, for Korea. I believe he's like the number 1 AD carry right now. So
they did just change his duo lane options though, because you get more now level. You get more damage from Veigar percentage based wise off of your levels. So they now like decentivize wanting to throw Veigar in the bot lane, and you now want to have him in solo lane for 13.7.
Well, that's good. That's good. I didn't know.
Yeah, and I'm like, they're definitely pushing more for that. But Ratpack is just gonna go for the same same bans from both teams. You could just instant snap pick that Thresh, and that's a good safe option yet again.
Like I said, last time we saw this happen, worked really well. Seeing a similar.
If it ain't broke, why fix it?
Yeah, and they just got so much value out of it too. So I don't see why not, right?
Yeah, Goji was doing a very good job.
Good champ, good player. It's the wombo combo of our dreams. Now, the Ratpack here has to...
J4S?
That was good. Both of those players ended up doing things quite well. But that does signify a core part of their identity, which might be part of the problem, that they weren't able to get things to line stuff up quite as well, but they could run it back. I do see an argument for it. Maybe they switch out the Taliyah for someone else. Maybe they switch out the K'Sante for someone else here. They didn't get too much value out of Karma as well. They didn't land quite as much poke as they needed to.
Yeah.
And the movement speed didn't quite matter as much. The Kai'Sa, also good. J4 can get some crowd control stacks to set stuff up for Kai'Sa as well. Peel things away for her as well. So good option there, and can cut through tanks. So I do like that. Shorter range, though, that is something to keep in mind.
Do you even need to switch a Bayron? You could just throw him on the Tristana again. It worked out.
Tristana versus Kai'Sa is an interesting matchup because of the rocket jump and the ultimate at 6. And you can move stuff around. And you can't just knock people away necessarily, as if Kai'Sa is within your vision, you can still ult back in. It makes things a little awkward. You could do the classic Xayah versus Kai'Sa bot lane here as well. But Kai'Sa does struggle with some of the poke matchups, as her range isn't quite as big. Twitch, yeah, I could see that. I could see Twitch here.
Also, I do like Sejuani. Sejuani, I think, has just been a very consistent jungler, but obviously can still be flexed in the top lane. I think we're most likely going to be seeing it jungle. But Sejuani is just very strong, very steady. It is so hard to miss Glacial Prison. It is just such a fat.
I've seen it. I've
Yeah,
seen it happen time and
okay.
time again.
Yes, we've seen it, but like, come on. if you were missing that, you got you got some cataracts that you need to maybe go fix at the ophthalmologist. So
an optimist here, and
yes,
then
ever so.
Victor getting banned out here makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Banco was putting absolute work in. So Lulu with Kaisa, I don't personally I don't see that combo happening often. Do you think that's going to be enough to handle the Twitch Thresh bot lane?
Yeah, it can be enough. Kaisa's W does give you vision on champions. So that's pretty helpful. It can even, I believe, pull a Kali out of her shroud. You can see her. I'm not sure if you could auto
true vision.
Yeah, I believe it gives you true vision.
Okay, good to know.
But you have to land the W. I don't think if you get the stacks. So
yeah, on the condition, it's not like the Quinn E where then it like reveals everything in a like large AoE. Ooh, okay. Gnar was what I was hoping to see last time because Gnar into Cataclysm, big.
Yeah, and it's a good hop setup too.
Yep, I think a really good potential last pick for the Rat Pack, Anivia.
Yeah, Anivia would also be a good. They need some AP damage for sure. Kaisa does do some AP damage naturally, but it's not going to be the main source.
Anivia into Swain does kind of feel a little bit bad though. I will say that.
Yeah, that is Saj. There are some other potential setups that could maybe go for an Ahri. Mal's isn't going to be quite what they would want.
Yeah.
I wonder. Now Vlad seems too needy for a scale.
Okay, you got a lot of damage coming out.
You know, Ori might work here. Orianna might work.
Yeah, I think Ori or Syndra. Ooh, but they're going to be going for the Silas. Hey, I'm going to match your Demon Flare with my Demon Flare, and we're just going to be having a good old row in the mid lane.
Or Feast.
Yeah. You know what? Silas is hungry sometimes, and definitely won't become a big of a boy as, obviously, Cho'Gath, but can definitely get some of those Feast stacks.
Yep.
So look at just we definitely talked about that bot lane a little bit. But if I think Thresh is able to hook Lulu needs to land the polymorph onto Twitch, or otherwise she is going to be a dead Yordle.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be the case. Just getting some peel up there as well. Things can be a little bit dangerous for Kaisa. Getting the vision, you have to know where Twitch is. Twitch does warp comms a little bit. Especially if he's backed and you're like, did he back? Or is he hiding in a bush? Or where is he?
I was hiding.
Yeah,
exactly. He is their only AD threat coming out of Lionel Esports again. Obviously, we said that last time, but hey, we got that triple kill under the tower, and then we found a massive effect from Bayron. So could be running it back as the solo AD threat from Lionel.
Yeah, hopefully the Rat Pack does not make the same mistake again with that. Big slow coming out of Twitch's W as well, so something to keep in mind. Does grant vision into bushes, so a little bit harder to bush cheese as it's pretty big and has a decent range with it as well. Top lane here, range versus melee matchup. Well, I guess Cho'Gath has a little bit more range than your typical. He's more like mid-range, right? But
yeah, mid-range. Gnar is also kind of like a little bit on that precipice of like range versus melee. Like range Gnar form, I think has like around Vayne range or like a little bit smaller than that. So I think that Gnar is going to be able to obviously abuse Cho'Gath because he does max percent health damage.
Yep.
But Cho'Gath having the Predator passive will be able to allow him to just kind of heal up from a lot of the abuse coming in from Gnar. I think you just need to take your time, just like you did last game, and kind of get those levels, get those feast stacks going, and just be a very healthy, beefy boy that provides a lot of just peel options for your team with both Rupture and the Scream of the Void, or Feral Scream. Yeah, both those options being quite strong. But Sejuani being able to gank with Cho'Gath, that is a lot of lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Into a demon flare.
Yeah.
Or don't forget about Twitch too, who can hit multiple targets with his ultimate and set stuff up with his W, making things harder to get or get easier lineups because of the big slow. And don't forget about the box that can also go into it. So
That's a disgusting comp coming in from Lionel.
yep.
Like, I think at this point, like, I obviously they have Twitch, but like you could damn near slot in any ADC, and that would just be a disgusting core of a team.
Mm-hmm. One might say toxic with the Twitch.
Toxic, even, yes. But on the side of the Rat Pack, I think they have very good potential to really turn around some of these fights. Cataclysm into the Mega Gnar form into the throw. It could spell disaster.
It could spell disaster there. They don't have quite as much mobility as well with it. Of course, they still have the Thresh to like pull people out, which is a bit of a counter to J4, is if you can lantern people out.
Yeah,
That being said, if you're standing on top of the lantern, it's very hard. The funny strat just being put a ward on top of it.
just click it. Duh. Come
Just
on.
click it.
Just
Duh.
click it. As Cho'Gath is just with his big girthy body just standing over the lantern.
Please let me in. Let me in.
No, denied. But as we wait for this spectator delay to roll on down, don't go anywhere. Go grab some popcorn, grab an extra friend, and we will be back on the Rift, and we shall see you shortly. Hello, everyone. We are back with game 2. This is going to be Lionel Esports back again on the blue side versus the Red Pack on the red side. Lionel Esports up 1 game. We aren't going to be stacking up in the bushes this time. We're just going to be going for a good old standard 5-point here.
Yeah, no blood for the blood god strategy here.
Sadly.
Just doing a standard 5-point. Just showing, claiming this part of the river for Demacia, planting their flag there, claiming that territory. It looks like both junglers starting to a top side, trying to get the bot laners ahead. Makes a lot of sense in my book, as that was a leading part of success for both teams on their strategies. Of course, not working out quite for the Rat Pack, but they ended up pathing the opposite way. So we'll have to see if this is going to pay off.
Sorry, I mean...
I spoke too soon.
Ooh.
Bagels is going for the bot side leash. Same strat.
So, we all crave blood. We want to wet our blades with the blood of our enemies. Where do you think we're going to be seeing the first blood of this game?
First blood here. I gotta say bot side.
Bot side? Okay.
Yeah, the hooks be balling, dude.
Yeah. Okay, Goji has been very accurate with these. So I think I can agree with that assessment.
No, there's no melee to go with it because I believe Thresh is labeled as ranged with how big his attack range is. So it'll only be DR being able to set up those frost stacks. But nonetheless, the hook into the flay into that is just going to be so much for either person to deal with, even if one person's been polymorphed.
Well, that's a very nice pull. Going to be starting that out there. So on the top side, we're going to be having Clown going for Arcane Comet, opposed to kind of the more traditional Cho'Gath and Grasp. I can see the merit of that. You maybe want to just play for Cho'Gath wanting to play more for the AP version here, going for that Doran's Ring. So going to be not wanting to get poked as much as possible, kind of build up enough AP, and you're able to just rupture the backline and get a lot of just kind of healing and mana off of that to withstand some of the pokes. So I can definitely see the merit of this build.
I can also just see taking Dorian's Ring, some HP and mana to go with it so that you can use your abilities in the wave a little bit more so you don't lose as much CS. Walking up means that Last for Cause is going to be able to auto you while you do that because of his range, or just Q you. Angry boy.
Yes, the first Meganar coming out, but Joan of Arc just going to be going for a kind of a slower clear towards the bot side at half health. You do have Bagel is going to be going for a full clear, doing it a little bit faster. That's going to be 5 clear coming out from Joan of Arc. She might be going for a potential play. She sitting in the tri-brush.
Sitting in the tri-brush. Ooh, hook knock while landing here.
Yeah. Nothing's going to be panning out there. And so now at this point, Bagels is going to be a little bit ahead here. Could be looking for another play on Banco as we kind of parallel to what we saw from last game. Will Banco be flashing over this fat wall? Yes, it will.
No flash coming out of them as well. So getting that expended, super important here as well. Both are pretty even in farm. Slight edge should be going over Nihito here. Look, because of the way the wave's pushing. The repeat.
Uh-oh. That's going to be Banco. Yeah, that's going to be Banco going
First
down. 100%.
Blood. Yeah, they couldn't do a bot lane because I predicted that. So that would be too easy for me. Of course, very well played up with the setup there. No Ignite as well. No Summoners there. And they did get Banco's Ghost. Big threat from game 1. So him being down gold, down XP is going to be quite important here. That being said, delaying Nihito's back, super important. Is they're low on mana right now, Verdant. They do have TP, but they don't necessarily want to use it right now either.
If they have to, oh well. There are worse things. I mean, you have both summoners down on the side of Banco, so if you have to expend one, all right, that's fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. And looks like, yeah, they're staying in base for a while, so it looks like they might have to commit this.
Yeah, they might be trying to. Oh yeah, for the extra little bit of gold there. Yet they were just able to sit it. They have 5 gold in their pocket right now. Being able to get that. The gold did change on that item there, so it was a little bit delayed for the Catalyst of Aeons.
It went from 1100 to 1300 in this 13.7 patch. But it did not change the overall cost of Roa, but it at least just forces in the early portions of the game that you need to spend 1300 gold, just like the rest of us, to get that item.
Yeah, comparable to the last chapter. Slightly different, skills to go with it, but I don't believe you can build anything into Catalyst of Ions. I believe it's its own standalone item, which does make it a little bit harder to build, like a BF sword versus Noon Quiver sort of scenario. That being said, they're having a nice
They're
one to buy here.
Ruby Crystal and Mana Crystal go
Oh, it
into.
does? It
Yeah,
does? Okay.
yeah. There are two components that build into it.
I definitely made mid lane, guys. I definitely
Oh
did.
yeah. Of course, of course.
Of course.
Ooh, gonna be sadly missing that. But now we have the fee stack, so we could be just. Ooh, Cloud hasn't been able to get any. Wasn't able to get one off on that minion. Let's say if you get this wave shoved in, you get the fee stack going. You then have a 30-second timer of being able to pick the ultimate, but that's going to be a massive hook missed, and Bayron in potential trouble here. Joan of Arc now able to turn, help his teammate. That's going to be Bagel's flash of the wall, but that's going to be Bayron getting the kill. That's going to be the flash in from the Hito. Now that's going to be the demonic flare. Going to be coming in, going to be burning down Goji slowly but surely. He's going to be going down to Lost Cause. The nice TP from him, but Hito's still behind. Will he be able to pick up the kill onto Joan of Arc? Joan of Arc able to get away, but Banco and Hito just going to be kind of perpetually sucking each other off here at this point. But
it's a suck fest. Who's got the better head to figure out how to utilize this ultimate here? It looks like with a support being, this is going to change things up just a little bit. The mana's a little low, but oh no,
gonna be fine. Bayron here might be able to get a kill, but is good. I think he's going to be slowly but surely beating out Banco. He does have the exchange of the Aeon of Catalyst of Aeons here. This is just going on to. Okay, that's going to be the Cataclysm used onto Bayron. He's going to be getting away from it for the time being. Banco's out of mana now. And Nico's still at full mana, and he's going to be the winner of this. Hito lasting forever, and Banco finally going to be taken down. But this ultimate is still going.
Stop, baby!
Oh no, is Banco's going to be getting out? No, Joan of Arc's going to be getting the pickup now. We have UR next coming in from the sidelines, going in onto Goji. Are they going to be at the play in the tower? No, they're not. That's going to be the ultimate. Finally going down.
How many minutes was that? Oh my goodness. That being said,
too long.
That being said, their jaw must be sore from screaming. The Dragon, of course, went over to Lionel Esports, getting some extra ability power and damage coming out of that, which would be quite nice for them. Earth Drake will be the next one coming up in 4 minutes. And it looks like the Rift Herald is now on the table here, sitting at a nice 8 minutes. So that is a healthy gold lead for the Rat Pack.
Lost Cause. Okay, Lost Cause didn't get Mega Narfarm. I was going to say that could be potentially trouble, but he does have an Executioner's Blade, so it's going to be cutting out some of the healing from the Cho'Gath, getting rid of some of the health from the Predator and from the Catalyst of Aeons. But now Hito just going to be going all in onto Banco here, putting out a fair bit of damage, but is unable to steal his ult for a good period of time.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit before we see the Sook Fest that was there. We'll have to see what ultimate he ends up stealing next. Maybe the Glacial Prison coming out from D-Arc.
Uh-oh. Will Lost Cause be able to get out of this? This is too much lockdown. That Frostbite going to catch you, and that's going to be a hungry dinosaur.
Hungry dinosaur, indeed. Perhaps I jinxed it there. Baron pretty close to a Blade of the Rune King here. A major power spike on him. Able to kite things out, get his poison stacks here, the toxic stacks. And with UR next, they're going to be able to farm quite well, being they have things pushed out here to try and get that item. It is a little bit cheaper here. I think they'll be able to buy it. Just have 1,000 gold on character right now.
That's going to be a good look against Bagels. Bagels could just go for the gauge onto Banco, but that's going to be 3 members on the. That could be a death sentence if Bagels wants to go in onto this Baron. I think he was just trying to use the Demacian standard for the vision. Might potentially go for a steal, but you don't have any teammates too close yet. That's going to be Bagels hitting the blast gun over the wall. He's just going to come in and steal that Rift Herald. And now he's just going to use the Cataclysm. That's Hito getting the... He's just getting the Demon Flare again. And now we're just getting into this where he just has the suck. Now going for this long fight, and Hito is just going to get this double kill. Massive turnaround of a play. Obviously, Bagel is going to be sacrificing their life, but that's 1 for 3, and we take this objective. Totally worth it. Now you have a 4-0-4 Silas in the mid lane. You have a 3-1-1 bot laner.
Yeah, 404 ultimate not found by Nihito here, as he's been stealing them from the enemy laners, just being able to utilize stuff so well. The combination nation that was coming out of the Rat Pack, they're super good. Of course, they lost their jungler, but they got the objective secured. Hopefully, they're going to be able to leverage out this gold lead a little bit more with using this Rift Tower, try and get some pressure here, and stop some of the more scaling parts that Lionel Esports has to try and take them to a game 3.
I at current rate, this could definitely be going all the way. This is a 4K, near 5K goal. Yeah, no. What am I talking about? I am
2.3K. 2.3.
Wow.
Quick math.
Woo. We are learning how to read today, and that's only a 2K goal difference. I was gonna say if it's 4K, then yes, but if it's 2K, no, we're all good and fine.
Yeah, and if it was 40K, it would be a different game entirely. Warhammer.
Wow.
Holy crap, Lois. More fights in the bot lane.
This is going to be Kunji potentially in trouble. Going to be running into Bayron. That's going to be a flay back into You Are Next. That's going to be Bagel's locked down into this. Going to be using the flag drag away. That's going to be Hito getting the Glacial Prison. That's going to be a big grab onto Banco. That's going to be Banco going down. Hito's getting that pickup. Is now 5-0 at this point.
Yeah, pretty good news for them. They ended up getting the Glacial Prison as the other ultimate to take. You Are Next ended up missing that W, so that didn't go into them, but they should be pretty close to their mythic here. The Rift Herald being used into the mid lane as they're going to be trying to fight out this dragon.
Yeah, that's whenever you build AP onto Cho'Gath, he is like, if you get caught by that rupture, that's a lot of damage. You're able to then jump and get that. Oh, is Jonah Bark able to get the steal? Is able to get the steal and has the lantern away. The Cataclysm doesn't matter. Thank you very much for this dragon. Goodbye, good sir.
Thanks for the leash.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very well done by them. Stealing from both junglers there. The Revenge Dragon.
Bayron could be catching Your Next. Oh my gosh, the creep lock. Was locked down by the minions for so long. Just going to be committing the ghost. Just screw it. I'm getting through all these minions. I'm getting this kill. Get this shutdown handed over. I want this money.
Don't forget about the Borg that are slowing them down and just securing the kill. They're super well done. You Are Next pushing up, but just a little bit too far. Twitch warps games. If you don't know where he is, he's always right by you.
Hito's now going to be having a little bit more. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. I was going to say Hito's could have trouble without Believing Nord, but then I reread his items, and he does have that. But Sexy Clown now in trouble. He did get the Feral Scream off to try to slow him down. That's going to be a good rupture. No flag drag at this point. Lost Cause won't be able to chase this under tower. Going to be getting away from this. Going to be going over to Meganar, and Clown able to effectively get out of this top lane gank.
Oh, fighting is not done. I guess it's done now.
Yeah. I was gonna say at this point, I don't know if Hito wants to be committing for an all-in fight. You definitely want to save some of this for these objectives.
Oh, certainly. They do have their mythic with 4 stacks already, so they got a little bit before Sexy Clown. That being said, the priority in the mid lane is going to be pretty important as they're a key part to their victory here. Silas is very strong champion, being able to utilize all of these lockdown potentials as well, which really helps out everyone, especially You Are Next, being able to peel and get those stacks set up for them as well for that percent health max damage.
I think that you do have, thankfully, you do have some of these bigger, hard-hitting characters on the side of the Rat Pack, or otherwise you could just have a very, very unchecked Bayron to just like pop out of nowhere, press R, and just rip through your team like no tomorrow.
That is the case. That certainly is the case. Just being able to kite things out super well. And we know if they get a lead, they're going to be able to carry things out. We saw their performance last game. Big threat here, but it's the Rat Pack's turn to show that they're threats. How big they are, rodents of unusual sizes, if you will.
That is just like one Rubik's Cube away, like one turn away from just being the rats of extraordinary size from Warcraft. I love it.
Yeah. Funnily enough, they don't have the Twitch though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, kind of the silly thing. They did kind of get a rat adjacent with the Gnar, maybe, but yeah, I didn't pick up the
That's
rat
a Yordle.
himself. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Oh, you were next. Gonna be spotting out Bayron, so unable to find anything there with Joan of Arc coming in the wings.
Yeah, no successful gank here. Dragon not up for another minute and 35 seconds here, and Baron not coming up for another 4 minutes.
Uh-oh, Bayron's in trouble. That's just gonna be a dead. There's gonna be a dead rat there. You are next, still coming in with a lot of damage. Goji trying to get that flay into the box. Will that be enough damage? That will be that's gonna be a wild growth used onto you are next, and just gonna be helping him survive this, and that's gonna be 2 kills going over to you are next.
Yeah, if you look closely, the abilities being an auto cancel for You Are Next was enough to just pop the support, which is exactly what they needed for another kill. 5 kills on 2 very big champions here, Nahito and You Are Next. So good win conditions for them, up 4,000 gold. We saw what that means last time, Bird. Looking at a game 3 if this keeps going on.
This is some chunky damage coming into Banco. Banco's going to be committing the Demon Flare, but now that's not going to be up for a fight. And Hito has more mana, has more health, so you have to be super careful here. That's going to be a good disconnect used by Joan of Arc. Is this going to be enough healing? It is not. That's going to be the massive shutdown going over to Joan of Arc. That's going to be 800 gold going over to her.
Ooh, you'll love to see it for them. Big shutdown, and it's just going to be more money here as well. And despite the kill difference in the mid lane here, very even in farm, very even in levels. So that's very, very good for Banco here. We know they're both very skilled players, being able to keep the farm up like that. Dragon up right now, Verdant. Fight's gonna be a brewing at any time. Surprisingly, no towers are down, pushing 17 minutes.
Yeah, right now, I think like your best. Ooh, it's gonna be Bagels grabbed by a nice hook from Goji. Yeah, that's gonna be Joan of Arc. You do have Bayron coming in from the sidelines, but that's going to be an instant grab onto Bayron. No. Yeah, Bagels is just going to be pressing the R button immediately onto Bayron. The second he shows up, Bagels able to get that pickup. Hito in some potential trouble. That's going to be the Glacial Prison coming over the wall. You have 60 Clown here with the rest of your team. Banco has the Demon Flare coming through. That's going to be Lost Cause shoving them all into the wall. 3 stuns. That's going to be big damage coming through Hito. Too much. That's going to be double kill for him. Will he be able to get the triple? Joan of Arc trying to survive the best they can, unable to do anything. It's just going to get ripped apart, and that's going to be an ace for the Rat Pack.
Hito putting in the heat, melting the Freljord front line. That's enough to get you a first dragon for your team, and Hex Dragon, super, super duper strong here, getting you attack speed and ability haste, just being able to get those abilities off cooldown, land those auto attacks, and don't forget about how potent that soul is as well. Of course, they have 3 dragons left, 2 here. Oh, Bayron, are they going to catch him out here? The flash!
Oh, will he be able to turn this? He will not be able to. And that's going to be massive shutdown going over to Twitch. So,
and double buffs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right now, giving anything over to Bayron, giving more survival over to Bayron is just going to be bad. Him being able to get extra items, extra utility things, that could be quite scary.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong champion. We've seen him just kind of pop out of nowhere. Sometimes that means, hey, would you like to meet my Lord and Savior Cataclysm?
Yeah.
And you end up dying, and sometimes it's like, hi! And you're like, oh god, no!
I was going to say, he's definitely gotten caught out a fair bit of times at this point. So, I think you can't just come in from side flanks every time. Ooh, that's going to be a good grab from Goji. That's going to be forcing the flash away from Lost Cause. Is that going to be enough for him to get away? Ooh, that E damage doing quite a bit, but unable to find that pickup.
Yeah, it's about 36 a tick right now, I believe. Actually, it's going to be a little bit shorter than that. Probably like 25 if it's fully stacked there.
That's going to be Bagels coming in, using the Cataclysm, Demonic Flare coming through, but they do have the heal cut onto Hito. Bagels just going to be getting that pickup. Kunji now going to be using the Shurelia's Blessing, getting away from this potential gank in the mid lane. So it's only Banco going down.
Yeah, only Banco going down there. Not the worst. They're not doing super strong anyways. Oh,
Kunji's in trouble. That's gonna be Frostbite onto her. Ooh, you're next. Silenced. grabbed, eaten. That's up. Dinosaur lands anything, you are in trouble. That dino hurts.
Going for a more AP bruiser style here, but still a big boy here, and is going to get worse and worse as the game goes on, getting the HP, getting the stacks, all things that they want here. And they're going to have a pretty reliable heal cut for the enemy's team, as Leandri's Torment can make sure the Oblivion Orb stays on just a little bit longer to deny some healing.
So, I mean, there's a really good catch up by Joan of Arc to kind of catch Kunji when they're all by themselves and away from You Are Next, and then good awareness by the rest of Lionel to recognize that You Are Next is without Kunji and is very easily able to be killed. Then just the Rupture Fail Scream into the chomp. Oh, that'll get you there.
It'll get you every time.
So now with Baron, you have a 5k gold lead on the side of the Rat Pack. Do you think that's going to be enough? You have a lot of your gold on your big players for the side of the Rat Pack. Do you think you can go for this Baron, or is that still a little too risky?
It's 21 minutes. It might be a little early for it, as some fights have been turned here. And well, they have a lot of their summoners up and their ultimates, but Nihito doesn't have their ultimate, which has been a major factor for some of these fights. So wouldn't risk it for the biscuit here, in my book.
Yeah, I was gonna say he just used hijack and then to grab feast and then just ate something. So it's gonna be coming up pretty quickly. Give it about another 20 seconds. They're gonna have another ultimate steal. Yeah, I think they could if they can get Bankos. Oof.
Yeah, we've seen how long that can go on for sure. That being said, Dragon's also up in a minute. Very important. I know the indicator shows Earth Drake, but replay or spectator is a little bit bugged. It is Hex Tech. Very strong on both teams here. 2 versus 1 Dragons. There is a Rift Scuttler afoot onto the top side. Both have their teleport, are going to be able to rotate to these fights.
That's going to be a Glacial Prison Mist coming in from Joan of Arc, unable to go too far onto her. That's going to be a canceling of the TP. That's going to be a great grab onto Bagels. Are they going to be able to get the Frostbite stacks? They are unable to. The box unable to stop him and slow him. A lot of the engaged tools used on against the Rat Pack, but unable to find anything yet. You Are Next is chunked down to half health.
They're a little bit. They're like 3/4, but more importantly, both their summoners are down.
Ooh. This could just be one landed Rupture from changing this fight.
Yeah, Lionel Esports is down to 3 ultimates, which is also going to make things a little bit more difficult for them. All of the ultimates on the Rat Pack are online.
Nice pull from them. That's going to be another hook. That's going to be Cataclysm coming through, finding 3, but that's Bayron still on the backside all by themselves. That's going to be the suck coming out from Hito here. Will that be enough damage? Byron going to be getting Lost Cause. Byron still alive and going. Hasn't gone down yet. That's going to be You Are Next, and Byron going to be going head-to-head, but that's going to be his support. Kunji going to be keeping him alive. You Are Next going through, ripping through their team, and now it is just up to Joan of Arc all by themselves to potentially stop this ace, but that's going to be too much healing from Kunji, and You Are Next is going to be getting that ace.
Yeah, very good spacing coming out of You Next there. Big power spike there with the Navori's quick blades helping them out as well to try and get these abilities to land. Very, very well played there, and just being able to get Byron out with that sneaky W was enough to change that fight up here. Big name targets did die. Nihito ended up going down, but 2-2 Dragons, and these are very potent Dragons by themselves as well, Verdant.
So right now we see Twitch having the Bork into the Kraken. And he's now going to be going for a best friend sword. Is that I'm assuming that's going to be going into an IE or a BT?
IE.
Okay.
You're at your 40% crit. That's what you need.
Do you think that is like? Do you think we should have had a Runin's Hurricane in here instead of some of these options, just to like spread out the love, or do you think that Kraken's
not necessarily? Maybe if the thing is, the Rat Pack isn't like super clumped. You know, Nihito and Bagels will be together. The only other time that you might have it is if Meganar's online, but if Meganar's online, he's on your team. So you're not going to get as much value out of it as well. And you need to be able to get through some of these beefier targets. And Infinity Edge will enable that. And you want to go for Bork first just because you get so much value out of it as Twitch.
Yeah. Bork, 100%. I get that. But okay. I didn't know if that was a potential option just because Zeal gives you the extra movement speed and then also being able to use your R, spread that damage out.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they ended up taking Ghost as well. You also get movement speed out of Void of the Rune King as well, so that's some of your attack speed as well. It's not quite as good as the Zeal, but you still have a recurve bow in that build.
Bayron gonna get caught out here, has the support next to him, and just gonna be instantly dying to You Are Next.
Mm-hmm. Very well played out by them. Duelist powers.
They're going to be grabbing You Are Next. Going to be trying to throw in some of this damage. Wild Growth used on him, but Goji just continues landing hook after hook, and that's going to be a big shutdown going over to them. Bagel is trying to put out enough damage onto Banco, unable to do so yet, but now you have Hito coming in. Going to be doing enough. Goji is in trouble, unable to get away from this. Going to be going down to Bagels. Now it's Clown coming in on the TP. Will he be able to get him down low enough to be able to feast upon his blood? He will not be able to. And Hito just going to be slowly withering him down.
Yeah, things were like looking quite as good with You Are Next being down. A major source of damage, especially someone who can pump stuff into objectives. But the rest of the composition can do stuff as well. Lost for Cause is going to be able to do stuff quite well there. And just the follow-up and being able to jump back and support their team. The Rat Pack together strong. Won that fight quite handedly together with this gold lead.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of a case of going in one by one. Ooh, they're going to be grabbing Jodabark. No steals right from us here, but Bayron on the sidelines going to get slammed into the wall instantly by the Gnar and going to get blown up by Hito. And they're unable. They did reset the Baron, but they're going to be. That's going to be 2 deaths for that. They could have Banco come in again.
There's only going to be 4 people getting the Baron buff here, but instead of You Are Next not getting it, it's going to be their support instead, which is a good trade-off for the Rat Pack here. 29-15, sitting at nearly a 10k gold deficit for Lionel Esports, or an advantage for the Rat Pack. Very good. That should be enough to force these fights out with Baron buff. And just push for some of these towers. It doesn't really matter which one that they necessarily want. They can just force a fight out, try to get some towers, or potentially siege things out that are a little bit lower in range, so that's a little bit more difficult. They want to fight first. And with Dragon happening in a minute, that might be the opportunity they're looking for. Get the waves pushed out.
So, and kind of looking at this game, don't want to be a little bit too doom and gloom, but it's not looking good for the side of Lionel. Do they need to switch up something between game 1 and game 2? And if so, what is it?
The agency that the Rat Pack has been able to get out of Bagels. From Jarvan, maybe that's a ban they need to be doing here, or mid lane just didn't quite work out that the way they needed to. The more AP bruisery style coming out of the mid lane wasn't quite the style they needed. A lot of AD damage right just out of the one bot laner here. I think they just need like one more damage threat. If some of these mid fights changed just a little bit, this game would be completely different.
So you're saying
maybe some more damage into the mid lane is what I'm saying.
Okay. So instead of Swain, who do you throw in? Do you throw like Syndra, Victor?
Syndra, Victor, just AP damage that you can use to peel for your team.
Gotcha. Yeah, would you switch up Twitch at all? Oh,
nah, Twitch is fine.
Twitch is fine despite the J4 just being able to point and click Cataclysm him.
He just has to recognize he can't get a flank there. And if they just play for team fight, it should be fine.
That's going to be a good silence onto Bagels here. Unable to get the Cataclysm onto Bayron immediately, but that's going to be the Dinosaur going down instantly. And now Claws coming in, jumping in on the back line. That's just going to get Bayron immediately locked up. That's a double kill for You're Next. And just cruising through the team. That's a triple kill. That's a quadra. Oh, oof. That's an ace, and that's just a quadra from You're Next. That's
all right. I'm glad I predicted things out this time. Force a fight out around the dragon, push for mid, try to end the game.
Yeah.
30 minutes. The Rat Pack probably taking this next game here. It's another 20 seconds before anyone's going to be able to do it. And just look at this inhibitor go. These towers are going to be going through shredded like paper. And the Nexus is not going to be any different here. 34-15. It's going to be 1-1. Rat Pack versus Lionel Esports. Going to game 3 in this best of 3. Whoever wins this is going to be coming out with a nice W in the preseason.
So I think that was obviously very well played by the Rat Pack, but I think I'm not saying that Bayron played poorly, but I don't know if Twitch is the option, because Nar and J4 just kind of made it so he couldn't even play the game at all. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's a good combo with Thresh. Yeah, into that particular lineup. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I think it's pretty good with Thresh, but you have to recognize what kind of team you're in as well. A little bit less of a pick comp when Swain stopped getting some of the value out of there as they were too far behind. They weren't able to push Vision up to utilize that and get a flank there. That being said, if you're closer to your team, you could reposition with Thresh's Lantern and then get a lot of people and then just hit the front line and incidentally hit the back, kill people, and shreds people out. And it's not like they were able to get some picks there, right? They're already too far behind and looking for flanks. If you're behind, you just can't be looking for them.
All right. Well, we are going to be just quickly going over to a very short break while we get ready for the draft. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you back quite shortly for the exciting draft of Game 3. Hello, everyone. We are back. We're going to be getting into this Game 3 draft. We are now going to be swapping the sides. We're going to have a Rat Pack on the blue side, and Lionel Esports is on the red. So now we're going to be seeing some of the counter picks, prio picks changed up. So what do you foresee as one of the bigger changes here?
Well, Lionel Esports can't first pick Thresh now. So some of these engaged sports might be swapped up a little bit, but more importantly, Lionel Esports is going to have a counter pick here, and part of the success has been the counter pick into the mid lane, which worked really well that last game, right? With the Silas, just popping it out.
Yeah, Hito was able to create a lot of impact in that one. So
yeah.
Now, who do you save the counter pick for? So like this entire time for Lionel, they just picked a tank top lane that's just been consistent and has been winning despite kind of technically countering in itself. So do you just save your counter pick for Banco?
Yeah, you save it for mid lane.
I'm like I think that seems fairly decent. But then for the Rat Pack, who do you prio pick here?
I'm a fan of priority picking AD carry here, but they can also just priority pick their jungler. It all depends on which gets banned. I'm assuming Wukong's still going to get banned here.
Yeah.
But like Jarvan's still been being able to get a lot of value. So just any jungler that really enables their team the way it does is exactly what they need. And just priority picking that, it doesn't necessarily show what composition you have, as a variety of compositions can value it. So putting your strong foot forward with your jungler, I think, is a wise move. You can obviously pick them later to try and really shape the team around, as you can get some versatility, as a lot of people can be in the jungle, AP, AD, or tank, or more carry-centric if they want to go for a little bit of a mix-up. But my guess would be a strong jungler that enables the team for first pick.
So I guess one prediction I think that we might be seeing is they actually redid the draft link. Okay, let me grab this new one. Lo siento, everybody. We're just going to be quickly changing this over. Give me one quick second.
And while you're doing that over, I've got mine nice and picked up. Sometimes the draft site gets a little bugged here, but as things get started out here, we're seeing some more of the same bands here. Veigar, Caitlyn, pretty typical for these last games, along with the Elise. So the early tempo junglers, the Wukong that I mentioned as well here. Although the Swain is not something I was expecting here as an earlier priority pick. It can go as a support as well, so
it does open up the Jinx, so I think they might just instant grab Jinx here.
That's true. Lionel Esports still has a ban left. Maybe they'll pull it through, but we'll have to see if they have any adaptations into Game 3 on their own.
What was the third ban that Lionel had before? It was...
it's J4 now.
Yeah, I think J4 is a good ban here because if we can't take it, yeah, we don't want to give it. Yep, Jinx is going to be picked up first here.
Yep, makes sense. One of the two options that I foresaw, and then the response from Lionel Esports will probably pick some sort of an AD carry, and then something else that's going to pair with it. Not necessarily the support, as that can show your hand quite early here, or they could go for support, maybe like jungle. Pretty decent there, and just figure out what AD carry they want to go with their side, as both have been playing a variety of different things here.
Vi really good.
The sisters up against each other.
Yeah, Vi's very good at being able to get onto Jinx. Point and click adventure, very good. I think Lulu wouldn't even be a bad pick. Okay, they're going to be going for Lux here. Lux obviously can be flex picked in the support role or into the mid lane.
Please don't be a
leaves your options open.
Please don't be a Lux support. Yes, I'd rather deal with a Karma. Yeah, good poke versus the Jinx here as well. You don't quite have the range, but Mantra Q.
Thresh is open. Thresh is open. But yeah, I was going to say, they leave the door open for Lulu just going over to the Rat Pack, which Lulu Jinx, one of the best enchanters to kind of really help rev up some of these late game carries. Leaving Lulu open, that could be scary.
Now, one thing I want to point out here is when Melia was first made, that they called them a strictly better Lulu, but with some of the changes here, we're seeing Lulu still picked over that champion here, which is something to highlight, I think, with how the champion has changed and just how it plays out right now, especially when you see a Vi on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, Lulu is quite disgusting. I mean, Vi, a lot of the damage that you could be coming in through with the cease and desist into a lot of the other, like the haymakers and such, you can just mitigate with that with A, shielding, B, polymorph, C, your wild growth. So it's just Vi's going to be having a very hard time trying to dive. Gonna be CCing her, obviously, but not gonna
Oh,
be
Xin
blowing
Zhao.
Jinx up. But Xin Zhao is gonna be matching some
Oh,
of
the
this potential early aggression from Vi, depending if she goes Hail Blades or Conquer.
Yeah, we'll have to see if she wants to just kind of nuke people up, just one-man dive adventure, or play for slightly longer fights. Ornn already very confident in the top side here. Verdant.
Big beefy boy.
Big beefy boy. Any of the potential value they lose from the early karma, that Ornn's going to pick that up for that extra value here as well. And playing for Ornn scalability here, getting some counters here. No Wukong, obviously, who can go to the top side, but they're probably doing it for jungle. And then the Gnar to come with it as well. A nice ban here, an adaptation. And it looks like they did feel like the Twitch was a threat here, so that's going to be banned here from the Rat Pack. A bit ironic coming from them, but nonetheless, they didn't want Lionel Esports to have on the table. Yeah, the silence, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Call it the Force Gods
was
on
quite
that,
effective.
Man. Yeah. All right, the first pick coming out here, mid.
It has to be ADC.
It has to be ADC.
Yeah, because like you already see the Jinx Lulu. Just you get to pick your ADC into already information you know, and then just save the counter pick for your mid.
Yeah, you're gonna want something that scales up to compete with the Jinx or stop her scalability here. So just anything with a decent amount of range. They could go for something like cheeky, like an Aphelios, or the Tristana here. Also an option.
Yeah, Bayron did very effective on it. It was able to consistently keep repositioning throughout the entirety of the fight, and for the fights for the first game. Obviously able to get that early triple kill and just was an absolute monster. But Gwen is gonna raise some hell for Ornn in the top lane.
Yeah,
you may not get to play as passively as he would have wanted, and if she can catch, if you shove into her, she freezes ever. Ornn is not going to be able to run down that lane once they get to level 6.
Does need some sort of like front line though. So we can see something like beefy in the middle line, like a Galio?
That actually wouldn't be a bad pickup.
Yeah, obviously, Lionel Esports can then pick AD into the middle lane. They don't have to worry about some of that potential, but they'd be more AD heavy than AP heavy at this point. Oh, Lissandra. Okay, that's CC, so that's a front line of sorts.
Yeah. You can use Frozen Tomb into stopwatch, so you can buy
really awkward for Vi and Tristana with Lissandra.
Yeah. Yep.
Polymorph plus Lissandra is the big no button. Ooh, Katarina though.
Interesting pickup here. I mean, you can dash around a lot and really make Lissandra's job quite difficult to lock her down, but it kind of forces you to have to use Frozen Tomb on one of these 3 very volatile targets of Katarina, Triss, or Vi. So Lissandra's going to have to pick her poison.
Yeah, but Xin Zhao can knock them away, right?
Yeah.
When kind of says no. And when we did that interview, right, they said they liked both of those. It's just like, yeah, you don't get to interact with us. Plus Lissandra's Tomb there. It does make things a little bit more interesting for them to have to deal with, of course. That being said, the roaming potential out of Lionel Esports and the resets. Tristana, Katarina, both major resets here. Get a lot of value out of Ornn. So the game goes late. That's very favorable for them. It's going to be a little bit later than that, like that 35-minute mark that you were talking about, as Gwen might prevent some of that scalability coming out of the Ornn, being nice. Gold and XP there, super important. The ornaments is what really matters, that you get those XPs, but you also kind of need a front line here in this composition as well.
So just kind of looking at both these comps, who do you think has the advantage going into this game 3 for all the marbles?
I like the Rat Pack. Yeah. Because of the Gwen Xin Zhao combination, they're winning top lane. Mid lane, it's a little bit more tricky with how like the roaming is going to be going out here, but Lissandra does stop some of what they're trying to do. They have a lot of anti Lionel Esports, if you will, and then they've also got some pretty decent scaling of their own.
Yeah, I think how you have to play this out is do not let Banco get fed on Katarina. If Banco gets fed on Katarina, that could just that could just blow up your Lulu Jinx before like they even get enough rotation of spells off.
Yeah, where'd your health bar go, bro?
Yeah, it just dude, where's my health bar?
Yeah, dude, where's my health bar? I played against a Grandmaster Katarina once with a Grandmaster Aurelia, and dude, I could not keep track of them. It was just like felt like an anime battle almost.
Yeah. So I think that we don't even need to really do a lot of pregame analysis. I think we just need to let the players do the talking on the Rift. So I'm going to push it over to commercial break. Don't go anywhere. You're going to see the thrilling conclusion of this first set of Season 15 for Style Esports. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We shall see you shortly. Hello, everyone. We are back for this exciting game 3 of this set. We now have Lionel's Esports on the blue side and the Rat Pack on the red side. Let us see if Rats strong together or Lionel's Esports are just going to beat them down.
Yeah, I have to mention here that
Oh
this
my
is
God.
Katarina bot side, right? Benko mid side.
What? What the hell?
So gonna be a little bit different here. The reset and being able to do stuff there is pretty interesting. The range advantage with zappers and fish bones should be enough to poke out Baber. That being said, it's like pushing 20 mana when you don't have that much. You're sitting around 150, 160 mana level 1 with Jinx. So that'll be a little bit more difficult to do, but it's going to be closer to a kill lane with them, which is interesting. It's very interesting.
Absolutely. And Benko is going to be going for Hail Blades in the mid lane, which Hail Blades is going to beat out Hito, like without a doubt, because he's going to be able to get the root off, but Benko is going to be able to rotate through these, rotate through the bombs, just going to rocket jump, get the autos, and then is going to be having another jump on top of that. So Hito is going to have to play this very carefully, or is going to be sent back into the fountain. But Goji going to be going for some good early little poke. But
Classic.
I'm quite interested to see how the Katarina Karma bot lane goes.
So what they're doing right now here is that they're trying to get an early push here. They delayed the back with the slow and got that in, and they're going to try and force a bounce back as 3 minions isn't enough to freeze, and rockets are going to be forced here, just trying to get some extra poke with their Q. And once things are pushed back, it'll be a little bit more difficult for Goji to do some poking here. Mid lane fight happening. Not going to be enough here to get that bomb reset.
Just didn't get that last auto.
Yeah, still a decent chunk of damage, but as I was saying, trying to stay safe here towards their side of things, as Lulu can't necessarily poke quite as much once things get pushed up. Oh my goodness!
You Are Next was almost in trouble there, but the exhaust heal coming through going to be and kind of dissuading Bayron from fully going in for this kill, but going to be definitely chunking out You Are Next. And You Are Next is going to be having to chug through all of their potions, and Katarina only having to respond with, and going to be responding with one of their own.
Yeah, one of their own. Their big summoners are down as well, but they didn't have to burn a flash here, so they can try and go in again. They don't have the ignite for it, and with You Are Next being as healthy as they are, it's going to make things a little bit more tricky for them. But things are possible here. The minion waves are a little bit thicker here, making it a little bit more dangerous. They did chug that second potion here, making it so more interesting. With this wave being pushed out the way it is, it looks like a D-Arc is coming in for a potential gank, and not a whole lot of vision being secured. They're walking towards it, seeing this gank, setting out 330, about the timer. A little late, you usually see it around 315, but it not paying off there means they're spotted, and with goals being up here, they're not going to be able to invade, but they should be able to get the Scuttle Crab in return here, and both junglers are going to be pretty close farm-wise.
So far, we're just going to be seeing fairly efficient, just jungle clearing from both sides. Both of them make, that could be big damage coming in onto Hito. Going to be blowing up that massive bomb. And Hito might have to get the back off here.
4 stacks, 120%, 30% per auto extra damage onto that. So with this wave being pushed out like this, we'll have to see if a third gank is going to happen. The tension being kind of pinched for Lionel Esports into the bot side here with their definite meta build, Katarina bot side.
Hito and sorry, not Hito, Bagels and Joan of Arc, they really have gone for a lot of these five clear and a potential gank, or then just going for just full clears at this point into looking for something. So it's just been not a ridiculously active jungler. I mean, obviously they banned Elise in both of these, so we aren't going to be seeing that hyper aggression, but
True. They did get a nice counter invade onto the Krugs in the top side.
Oh, Your Next has no flash, unable to do anything. That is not going to be first blood. That she's not going to be dying in response to that. Bagel is going to be trying to go for the kill on the top side.
No snip
will
on the top side, and they didn't quite get goals. Oh my goodness!
I'm like, I saw the caster auto. I saw the caster auto. I'm like, does he go down? But Clown able to survive there with a scant of health.
TP is going to be able to catch the wave here. That does give them a disadvantage here. Lost because, of course, does have their TP. They did lose their Ghost as well, but they'll have a TP advantage for this side.
On that bot play, like, an
45
important thing to be looking
left.
at is 45 farm to 18 farm. So Katarina bot lane showing some really good numbers at this point.
Got the Sheen.
Yeah, Katarina is just going to be very much brutal here.
Now, the boost there is going to help things out as well. And they do have the exhaust online again, so it makes going all in a little bit more dangerous. But the ignite on the other side is also online. That being said, we're past the early levels.
Ooh, that's going to be the flash and Frozen Tomb in. That's going to be an R used from Banco to push away Bagels, and that's going to be a flash used by Tristana. She's going to be surviving this play in the mid lane. You do have Joan of Arc in the side here, going to be potentially helping out her teammate. She doesn't have Cease. She's only level 4, so she can't really go for a team at a all-in against Bagels.
Both teams understanding right now that this set is on the line. They're both 1-1 here. Gold lead slightly favoring Lionel Esports, which is good news for them. Not enough to necessarily say, hey, I'm going to be able to get a nice kill here. No one's hit a super major power spike. The Sheen obviously is important here. A lot of long swords on them as well, sitting at a whopping 7 right now.
Yeah, it's just a longsword diff right now. It's 7 versus 3.
Well, with the Noon Quiver finally coming in, now it's down to 5, but Clown here not quite able to get this wave under here. Not good news for them, as they could potentially be cut off from some XP or gold.
So Lost Cause does not have Ghosts, so could maybe potentially run him down this lane, but it'd be quite tough at this point in time. But You Are Next is going to be completely dove by Bayron, is in trouble, trying to get away best he can, but that's going to be First Blood. Going over to Goji, now they're going to be throwing in some extra damage into Kuji, but you cannot be that far. You did have Flash and Heal on the Jinx there, so she maybe wasn't expecting that much damage coming through.
Not expecting that much damage, and sometimes as an AD carry, you'll kind of wait the Ignite out so you get the maximum value if you expect it to heal, which builds into that point that we had before. First Blood on a Katarina. Well, not on a Katarina. It's on the support, but it's basically there with twice the farm right now. Now, there's a counter gank happening. Are they going to be able to get this wave under and safe, or are they going to be able to back off before this happens, as mid lane is also roaming?
Yeah, if you're able to catch them out and able to keep them in this lane long enough, it might mitigate the absolute crushing lead that they have. But Bayron able to kind of spot something out. The Frozen Tomb coming up. Are they able to get the kill on him? They are able to get the kill. That's going to be Chopper's grab onto Goji. Goji's going to be able to get away from this play, but that's going to be the Dark Possession coming through, getting enough damage to get Goji under the tower. But now Banco is surviving with a bare scant amount of health, and they're going to be able to potentially rotate this into a dragon. But Hito,
excellent rotation.
Going to be that's going to be well played by the Lissandra. Good roams all around.
Excellent rotation there, and of course the passive coming out there. No one expects the damage there. Super nice from them, and Byron just getting caught out there. Not good news for them, but the Rat Pack onto the board here. They're pretty even on gold, and with this global gold coming out of this first Drake, it's going to be quite nice for them. It's 9 minutes in, so certainly time to take that dragon here.
Well, that's going to be Lost Cause going all in with this ultimate, but that's going to be called the Forge God. Are the Brittle Procs going to be enough to save him? It's not looking positive here, and that's going to be Lost Cause getting the kill onto Clown, and Bayron's just going to be getting a kill in the bot lane against Kunji.
The Lulu Slayer, a no Yordle zone here. I guess they have a Yordle on their team, so maybe not quite that, but maybe they'll get
my Yordle is better than your Yordle.
Yeah. My Yordle has resets.
Ooh, speaking of that Yordle with resets, is just going to be chunking Nico into Oblivion, going to be shoving in this tower, forcing her to stay. But if Joan of Arc wants to come through, doesn't have the cease and desist. But this is going to be plates, and you could just shove the next wave, and Hito is going to miss a lot. Does have TP coming up here, so it might just be forcing a TP out.
Pretty much gold advantages in every lane for the most part, or tied, roughly.
They're just going to be going all in on Kuji. Kuji is in trouble. Polymorph used quite late onto it, but now You Are Next in trouble. Are they able to get away? That's going to be heal coming through. That's going to be a double kill for Bayron. She's going to be dashing on out of there, taking that one turret
Oh.
shot, but it will not matter. That's a 3-1 Katarina with 84 CS, 85 at the 10-minute mark.
With 3 kills. With 3 kills.
Yeah.
Dark Seal? Maybe not with this build, but...
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to be going for Divine Sunder.
Divine Sunder, boots. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, speaking of, yep, there it is. Ta-da! At the 10-minute mark, pre-11-minute mark, we now have a full Divine Sunder.
Rift Herald, though, the objectives clearly favoring the Rat Pack here. Objectives does help you win games, and they are down a little bit of gold, 1,400, but if they're able to potentially get Lost for Cause up, Lost Cause here, some gold, that is a win condition for them, as they can split push. They don't have to team fight things out. That being said, with their bot lane being so unlocked on the enemy team, that can make things a little difficult for them, as they're not a squishy AD carry here. They're an assassin.
Uh-oh, Clown's in trouble. You got the R's coming through from Lost Cause, going to be chunking him out. Yeah, he's just going to be able to walk away from this play altogether. But it's slowly but surely getting to the point that Clown won't be able to survive in this top lane. The Riftmaker able to just kind of heal up a little bit too much. The pure damage coming in from Gwen Snip hurts.
Yeah, does hurt. The magic damage here, getting pretty close to their mythic as well, as they have the leeching layer here, just trying to get that online and then potentially get their Nashers to follow here. Waiting for the proc to hit the tower, get that last plate. Nice 175 gold. Sitting up at 30 CS lead, which is a good lead for them to have. Now, they don't quite have the tower low enough to a Rift Herald to take it.
That's gonna be a flat. That's gonna be a jump in by Bayron. Just gonna go all in onto Kunji. Now gonna be turning this damage into You Are Next, but that's gonna be disincentivized just by the exhaust coming in from Kunji's dying breath. Gonna be saving You Are Next.
Yeah, but that 3v3 was one. Of course, it did take out the support, not the most important person, but that is a lot of their disengage as well. And some ultimates were used there. Death Lotus, pretty short cooldown. Mantra, pretty short cooldown. So they're going to be able to get some nice rotations there.
Uh-oh, Bagel. If they try to do any funny business here, Bagels, you have Kunji coming up. And that's going to be... Bagel's going all in onto Goji. Goji's in trouble, having to flash away from the Super Mega Death Rocket. Got the root off. Is that going to be enough? The heal is going to be helping his teammate get out. But Goji's going to be going down to Bagels. That minion block going to be absolutely lethal. Bagels just being able to chase him down the length of that lane and getting that kill.
The W landing twice to re-engage there is the real kicker.
No, it's the minions. The minions that betrayed me.
Chompers there. Really nice, when the dagger's going to be. It takes a little bit for the arms, so they have to commit right away. Otherwise, not going to turn out well for them. Of course, Death Lotus, the root will stop that. But nonetheless, they are going to be able to potentially get some kills there if they get pushed out too far with those rockets. Byron's just waiting to pull the kill trigger.
Now they're going to be able to get it back. They haven't backed for a while. They got the Divine Sunder last time. They got about 30-40 farms since the last time they went back to base. And
yeah,
I'm interested to see what they get. They got Sork boots and they got the Amplifying Wand. What's the name of that?
Blasting Wand.
Blasting Wand. Yeah, no, Amplifying Tome, Blasting Wand. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Correcto mundo. Now, Hextech Dragon, pretty important for both teams here. Imagine if the resets were even more devastating.
Okay, I'm gonna just TP in your face. I was gonna potentially die anyway. I got unleashed TP. We are just gonna be taking this objective this time.
This is our objective here.
Our objective, but hey, we're gonna be going onto your mid tower, but we still have Gwen on the top side. This is gonna be Call of the Forge God used. Unable to find anything, but Banco now gonna be trying to chase down Bagels in the jungle. Obviously has no reset. This is going to be... How deep in the Yakety Sax track can we get? Bayron trying to go after Bagels. Jodavart going to be finding him. That's just going to be cease and desist used. And Bayron's just going to be getting that pickup. Now has 4 kills. Still has a massive shutdown.
Yeah, the Yakety Sax track did go in pretty deep. And top tower was taken here. But Bot tower is also going to be pressured, as a lot of people were giving into that topside play just to catch the jungler for their first death, which is quite nice for them. That being said, they're only 800 gold ahead right now, 6-4, which isn't necessarily where they want to be, but they are pretty heavy into the scaling department with the Ornn.
That's really good that URNX was able to get that bot lane tower. That's going to be a lot of local gold onto her. Obviously, you get your global gold for the team, but giving that much gold over to a Jinx might push her over the edge to finally get that mythic and really start putting her in a place to potentially start carrying this game.
And almost getting into the tier 2 boots as well. Very important for them as well. Splitting the sides. And they have some nice pressure to the mid side as well, as that tower can fall at any point. But we're talking about like 800 now. Now it's closer to 200-300 gold, which is pretty good for the Rat Pack. Maybe they will rise again on the third day in the third game.
Yeah, happy belated Easter, everybody. All right, quick question to chat. Who do you think is the Jesus equivalent in League of Legends, or like the nearest like Jesus adjacent? I'm just curious as to what everyone's answer is. I think Zillion is a potential answer. Has the beard, is able to resurrect.
I think that's pretty close. Akshan then would be pretty close as well. Dies for yourself.
Please, friends, dear friends, please stop dying.
But my actual answer would actually be Taric.
Oh,
the hair, the looks.
Okay.
The protector.
You know what? I think these some good options here. But one thing I do want to note, Gwen went for the needlessly large rod. So that's going to suggest building a Shadow Flame or a potentially Oblivion wand. Was it Oblivion or not Oblivion one? Void Staff.
Oh yeah.
Right now they're just going to be going into bagels. Yeah, just going to be knocking them up, just blowing them up. And we're going to be seeing Lost Cause and Bayron going a little bit head-to-head here. Goji might be dying here, but Super Mega Death Racket missing. Not going to be able to get the pickup now. Your next is going to be Cease and Desist. That's going to be the Call the Forge God getting the knockups here. That's going to be Katarina diving in, going to be getting the kill onto Lost Cause. That's going to be going over to Goji. Now Hito using the stopwatch, unable to do anything. Bayron's going to be getting the pickup. You are next, trying to get away best he can with Kunji, but that's not going to be enough. Kunji in trouble. That's going to be a triple kill now, going over to Bayron. And oof.
Yeah,
this
all
is
Banco
7
was
kills
like, hey,
on a Katarina.
Hey, the bot lane. While that was going on there, getting the Rift Herald and all of that fun stuff. 2 towers bot side. Of course, that was your life as well, but this is going to be rotated into a mid play. So much stacking there in that fight. Season assist is like, oh, the Forge God. The lineup into the Death Bloom, getting 7 kills in that Katarina. Oh my gosh, are they getting 4 towers from that fight, Verdant? They're getting 4 towers. That's so illegal. The goal difference, it was so close. That was not.
That's just massive for them.
Pushing 6K.
Initially started out that the Rat Pack was getting a lot of these early objectives, but now it's just obviously with the gold advantage really heavily shifting over to Lionel Esports, getting a lot of these pickups.
No, it's very important that these resets happen, right? It's 40 seconds before Dragon, getting this early vision, favoring the Rat Pack as they're here right now. They did die, of course, but that does mean they have the vision, which makes things a little bit more difficult. But all of these ultimates are online now, and they still have a lot of summoners here if they want to challenge for this third Drake, the Mountain Drake, getting them more resistances, harder to kill, and letting them go in even harder, especially that Nashor's Tooth is on a 7-kill Katarina, Bayron. Stomping.
They're just going to jump into Kunji immediately, blowing that poor Lulu up, and they're just going to be sending Lost Cause into the top lane. Going to be trying to get this tower. Are they able to get it fast enough? That will be a bunch of local gold going over to her. That's big shutdown gold. Will this be enough to take down this Ornn? He's getting some of the knockups. Call the Forge God coming through. She has no more ultimate, but the Snip's going to be taking Ornn down, and Clown's going to be falling on the top side. We're going to be seeing a lot of this AP damage coming through and ripping the Forge God apart.
Yeah, cutting them wide open, closing the Forge down on Sunday here. The Dragon ended up going over to Lionel Esports. Here, the 1v1 lost on the top side, but it's a good cross-map play here. Soul not happening anytime soon as The Rat Pack needs 3 and 2 for Lionel Esports, but this does give them an edge on Lionel Esports here, as not only they have a gold lead, but they have some more pressure here, as the next dragon will be Soul Point there, which tends to drop fights. And when you have such a lead like this, that is enough to force a fight to push into another big macro play, even if that doesn't necessarily mean a dragon. 3,000 gold, so not quite the 5-ish, 6-ish K gold difference here, but the gold from those split pushes has really, really helped the Rat Pack. Going to be difficult on the top side, so they're going to be pushing the bot side here, Verdant. With the Baron up, TPs are afoot into the mid and top lanes here.
So far, I'm surprised. Like as I kind of before mentioned, they are going to be going for the Shadow Flame onto Lost Cause, and is now going to be building for the Nashers. I'm surprised you didn't go for the Nashers earlier, just to really, really incentivize that split pushing. Obviously, towers don't have magic resist, and you are able to just shred through them bad boys.
They don't have as much,
and just you don't have you don't have the attack speed really to get out a lot of the damage. Okay, they do have magic resist, but it is very minimal by comparison to the armor. So
yeah. All right, here Baron is on the play here. It looks like it's being set up for mid lane being pushed out here. The top lane counter push here coming out of Hito, and these jungle farms coming down here as well. We'll have to see if Banco can stop the split push, though, interestingly enough, with Halo Blades trying to get the bomb reset, maybe chunk them out before the no-no zone, where you just can't auto this champion. Makes things very difficult to kill Lost Cause for Banco.
Right now, Lost Cause and Banco going to be going a little bit to head. The ultimate coming in from Lost Cause, but that's just going to be too much damage. And the Seamstress is just going to put out a little bit too much. Can't handle that.
Not very good at tailoring for Yordles, tends to just cut them open. And the split push ones, like I said, it's very hard to deal with. They ended up rocket jumping out, but that didn't matter, right? They were just able to get stuck on there. Ghost.
That's cute, don't care.
You're so tiny and cute and dead.
Ooh, Lost Cause
is in
trouble.
Oh,
yeah, that's going to be Lost Cause dying. That's going to be Lost Cause dying to Bayron. Going to be giving a little bit of a shutdown, but they're at least going to be getting a little bit pressure in the mid lane. They could go for a Baron, maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't think so. You do have Banco who just came but not. Yeah, that's just too much time has passed. I'm like, you had a very small window, I think, but
yeah, small window, not enough time. I didn't expect them to take it either here. Sexy Clown, level 13. You know what that means.
Unspoken Parasite.
Woo! Now,
so who do you give the next? Who do you give the next ornament to?
Oh,
just instantly, just over
the Divine Sunder is going to be upgraded, right? They have 8 kills, and then you can't put it onto Arc here if they don't have a mythic yet. And Banco, it's been good, but they don't necessarily need it right now. Oh, let's see here.
Obviously, Rat Pack is down, like a bit down right now. What do they need to do to get back into this game?
So your next only has 1 item right now. They really do need 3 items here, and they need to find an angle to slow down some of these objectives being taken. Just poke them out just a little bit, de-incentivize them, and just let Lost Cause do their job. Split push, they've been able to win a lot of 1v1s, and then after the 1v1s are done, they need to assess how far can I push, where's the vision line, where's my HP bar at, and go from there. I don't think they're going to be TPing into these objectives unless it gets pretty close. Otherwise, they're just going to be on split push duty, try and get some counter macro here to create some pressure on the other side of the map, like we're seeing right now.
Ooh, Clown could be in trouble on the top side, but this is just going to be a lot of dives across the board, but that's going to be your next instantly blown up. No rebuttal whatsoever. Bayron going to be throwing a lot of damage into Kunji. Kunji is going to be surviving with a scant of health. That's going to be called the Forge God coming in. Going to be knocking up many people across the board. Bayron just cutting them down. The assassin, too brutal. And that's going to be 4 people go down on the side of the Rat Pack. This is now 17-7. Massive gold shift. Big purple worm's going to be going down, and the only survivor is Kunji with that ever sliver of health.
And this could be the 3rd dragon here rotated out as well. just good pickups. Taking out You Are Next. Not good news, as that's a good source of damage and range, more importantly here. And Lost Cause also going down is the other big boy threat on the red pack here. Not good news, as top lane is being pushed out here. It's pretty safe for them to do this. They have 11 kills right now, 3 items.
Yeah.
So strong right now, just being able to elite champions.
And now we're going to be having Katarina and Ornn get back to base together around the same time. You're going to be able to give the deicide over to her. This could be, yeah, I think this could potentially be the nail in the coffin at this point in the game.
Yeah, that I would probably agree here. There is certainly time for things to shift, but 7,000 gold with a Baron buff.
Yeah, 7,000 gold, Baron buff, soul point.
Oh. Yeah, and it's Earth. Earth is the other thing onto a dive composition.
Oh, yeah. Ew.
Yeah, that makes it so much harder to take them out, as a lot of the kills have been like the passive coming out of the mid lane. Not quite there, right? The de-incentivization. They've been able to just kill super fast You Are Next, or their support that help peel for them. The exhaust isn't necessarily going to be enough at this point, and the no options that Lost Cause has and Bagels hasn't been enough either as well, right? Like Bagels is their strongest player right now, and they just can't fight a lot of these people right now.
Yeah, there's just too many dive threats that just keep You Are Next alive. There's just too much going against it. Ooh, Bagels trying to do the best he can. Joan of Arc, Goji's all there with him. You have Bayron. That's too much damage coming through. And Bayron's going to be getting the pickup there.
It did take some resources, but this is going to lead to a mid push here. Still fairly healthy. Good wave clear as well. 2 items finally hit by You Are Next, and they can't necessarily dive, as this tower is quite nice, and they do have some peeling options with their mid and support here as well. And with Gogi having to back here, that's going to stop things as well. These waves pushed out a little too far from the red pack, so they really can only push mid here, and being everyone can clump together with the red pack, they're going to be able to stop this push from going all the way through.
I think you have to throw Lost Cause into the lane by themselves. You just have to try to split up some of this pressure. You can't, like, I understand that could potentially be mid tower loss with Baron, but I don't think you can afford keeping Lost Cause just to puppy guard your base.
It is a tricky call for them. Just being able to push something out, it's the safest with Lost Cause right now.
Yeah.
So if it's not too far out, I think that should be fine enough. That being said, they do really need to make sure that a couple people don't die, because if they weren't there, and let's say they were able to kill 2 people there, they can't defend the base anymore, and that could be lights out, or just like so close to lights out that it's dangerous. So they have to hover there, unfortunately.
Yeah, but right now, do you think that? I feel like Lost Cause kind of still has an advantage against Bayron. Like Bayron does have 3.5 items versus Lost Cause, who only has 3. In like a little bit of a component, but like I still give the advantage to Lost Cause, because late game. Ooh, that's going to be a nice chopper grab. Are they going to be able to get the pickup? They are going to be getting Goji here. You Are Next finding that pickup, but now You Are Next in trouble. The Wild Growth coming through, trying to save You Are Next, but unable to do as much as possible, and that's going to be a triple kill. Oof. They spent so much to kill Goji, but Bayron just coming through, cutting them all down to size. They are going to be getting Clown on the top side. You will have Gwen, you will have Bagels, but will it be enough?
The bomb on the tower there, just donking it all the way out.
Ooh, Bagels just getting blown up. Bayrod. That's too much. That was a very low Bayrod, but the stopwatch is going to be keeping him survive. Joan of Arc, nice stopwatch. They got so low, but barely survived. Oh, the caster, the auto tech. Okay, I'm like, Bayrod playing with fire there.
They're just edging their health bar, saying, "How low can I go?" They're playing the limbo. Dragon coming up in 40 seconds here, enough to force a fight out. And with these inhibitors being down, that's going to give them priority into the mid lane, trying to force things out. not looking great for the Rat Pack. They don't have the items that they need to potentially fight this out, and it's a good soul for Lionel Esports to have, especially with a death cap.
Yeah. Ugh.
No, getting back to the Bagels versus Lost Cause. Yeah, when I was talking about that, they were both at about 2 items there, but Lost Cause is definitely stronger now with how that's been going. Both of them have pretty similar kits, but Cause scales a little bit harder, right? Like you mentioned. We'll have to see if this is going to be enough for this dragon, but it's going to be quite difficult. Just look at the vision scores: 86, 55, pretty big, not allowing them to see here. Blind picks favor the composition that's being shown right now. Oh no, Bagels. He went for it. He went for it.
Yeah,
Baron's on the
you
table
have
right
to.
now. But they don't need to. They really don't need to. The bot inhib's down. The mid one wasn't down. I misspoke there earlier on. But it might not be the same way soon with how this is going. Now, the Baron is being rotated here just to really secure things out. And we're seeing that split push from Lost Cause coming here. Going to be a little bit more difficult with the super minions, but they do have a negative magic resist, so they should be able to cut through them super fast. But with the recalls happening, these super fast ones, that's going to be a little bit difficult for them to push out, especially with the TP coming out from Banco potentially. Looks like that's a no. That's a no. 712 gold. Nothing to scoff at. They're 1 tower behind, technically speaking.
At this point, like, do you even care about Lost Cause, like, in a lane too much? I mean, you can maybe just, like, throw one person against them, just play safe under a tower, but then you just go, my 4 is better than your 4. We have 10,000 more gold on map.
Lost Cause can push pretty fast. They still have to walk to those towers. They don't have super great TPs. And if you can just, like, stop it, like, why risk it? You're ahead. Why risk it? Oh my gosh, the flash, but that doesn't even matter here, right?
Clown is just going on and on. The Unspoken Parasite really showing a lot of work. They're going to be sending 4 up into this top lane, but now you have... It's going to be a 4v4 here, but...
Sexy Clown was not the threat.
Yeah,
they stopped it, but the other 4... They weren't going to win that 4v4, so they won the other side so they don't die super fast, but this inhib's down. Straight access to the Nexus towers. Super minions lining up here, having some nice range with Banco, and the bomb blowing up the turret. They're down.
Yeah, this is game. This is 100% game.
Yeah,
Bayron just cutting them all down to size. That's not a quadra, but that's going to be a triple, and that's going to be the game.
Ooh, baby, a triple.
Oh, baby. So, looking at this
Banco, I saw that. Banco, oh, no!
Absolute disrespect. Waiting for him to come back up just to kill. Oh, how rude.
Why you gotta be so rude?
All right, so that's gonna conclusion for the first set of season 15 is gonna go over to Lionel Esports. Congrats on that victory. But who do you think was the MVP of the set, and then who do you think was the ace of the set?
Ace, you are next. I think. I know they didn't do well game 3, but Katarina happens. And we were thrown off a little bit off guard there as well. And
yeah,
it's just kind of difficult to deal with. That being said, best player here. Just the top side, I think, was pretty consistent. Otherwise, I don't want to warp it just because of that last game. I think the person to give it to was their mid laner from Lionel Esports, Banco.
Ooh, I would maybe give a strong nod to Goji. Goji was very consistent.
That's true.
Did their job every time. Was just killer on vision.
That's true. That's also very true. Landing a lot of those didn't quite work as well game 2. I think Banco just performed a little bit better out of the 3. But yeah, I definitely dig the Goji one as well. There's this very strong argument for that to be had.
All right, and it appears that we are going to be able to get an interview with the captain of Lionel Esports. That's going to be Banco. So we get to talk to them quite shortly here.
Yeah, spam chat with questions if you have anything that we want them to ask at
Yes.
all. Please do so here. But I just kind of want to talk a little bit as to why this Katarina lane worked out, right? Like we were both caught off guard. We're like, oh yeah, so the Katarina's going to go mid. Lissandra can potentially do this and whatnot. The poke, getting people super low, being able to use that early aggression there, and then the Viola sitting there, being able to roam and set things up. Extra kills in the assassin means you get bigger power spikes, and the resets, just being able to shut down the scaling side from the Rat Pack, was a very key component here. And of course, like we all see what happens when you have so many kills on an assassin, and just getting that lined up, it's caused a lot of resources to be spent. But on the opposite end of the map and in the mid side, they weren't able to get as much out of the Rat Pack, which was a huge part of Lionel Esports' success into game 3.
I think an important aspect to be adding onto there is, and Bayron is able to go in, and then you're able to just staple a bunch of shields to them with the karma. So like it can kind of just further assist in some of that more aggressive play style. But we are joined here by Banco. How you feeling after that set, Banco? Feeling like a good start for season 15?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we had a nice first game for sure. Slacked a little bit in the second, but it came back strong in the third, I guess.
Yeah.
So obviously threw all of us off with the Katarina ADC pick versus Tristana. In that first game, were you hoping to have Tristana as like a flex pick to either go in the mid lane or as ADC? Or did you just have it preset in your mind to go ADC?
It was actually a flex pick because I'm playing a lot of Tristana mid lately. And I mean, Bayron is also a pretty good Tristana player. But so yeah, in the first game, it was a flex pick. And last game, we just throw them off with the Katarina bot lane instead. So I think it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out really well, right? Like you were able to chunk out the Lissandra and stop them from doing a whole lot. Of course, they have like one kill in the bot side, and then the Katarina just kind of going wild with the assassin there.
I was gonna say, I mean, he is a Catman after all, so
yeah,
not banning her was a bit of a mistake, I think. But yeah, I think we just
wait. So they're a cat ADC main.
No, he's just a cat player. But we have like three ADC players in our team, so like yeah.
Gotcha. I'm like, that is quite bold.
I mean, he did play
double down on that for ranked.
He did play it in ranked sometimes with Jean, actually. Jean Dark.
Good.
So he knows what he's doing.
Spicy plays.
Yeah.
Has this been something your team has been able to utilize a lot in past seasons at all, or has this been some fresh tech?
With this team comp, it's our first time in style. Actually, we were back like 2 seasons ago, but we didn't have like the whole roster that we have today. So yeah. So I think I mean the cat bot lane is probably gonna be seen another time this season, maybe.
So and for that last game, for that game, how excited were you to play Tristana into Lissandra? Because Lissandra has just a terrible time into a Tristana mid lane. Like how excited were you on a scale of 1 to 10?
I mean, I know I had some free roams. I know I can just chunk her. She can't do anything about it. As soon as she's 6, though, it's pretty hard to kill. But I still have some roams to do, and I mean, I was just all over the place, I think. And I could just destroy turrets, and split pushing was also a strong suit in this game, I think. And I think we gone off pretty strong in this first set.
Yeah, it was a very strong showing from you guys. What mistake do you feel really shaped game 2 that made you have to play into a game 3?
I think the not banning Salus was a pretty big mistake because I know. I mean, I actually don't play a lot of champions, so I mean they banned most of my champions, and like Swain was my third best probably. So if we knew we were gonna play Swain, we should have banned Silas. But it was pretty hard to see because the other mid laner was a support main who's playing a lot of ARAMs, so we didn't know what he was actually playing. But yeah. So I mean that's probably a reason. And also, I mean our team comp was a little bit worse also this game, and picking Silas was pretty strong versus us. I think nice play from them. So I think it's team comp wise that we made some mistakes.
I say comp wise, I'm like I think you did start out very strong with that one. I mean, Thresh, we've seen it in other like other teams, just of all echelons and different organizations stuff. Thresh being very much a good priority one pick, so I think that was great from you guys. Sejuani also being a fairly good jungler. How come you decided to go with the Twitch there to round out kind of the to like go with Thresh and Sejuani?
I mean the Sedge was probably like not of a best pick since we were all ranged, and like we had Ornn still in top lane, and Cho'Gath second year, right?
Yep.
So like Sedge didn't come top once, so maybe Sedge was a little bit of a weak pick in that sense, and like Twitch was just picking people off, but didn't work out too well because he was playing alone and it was just getting dove by Nar and Jarvan. So
yeah. Definitely saw that with like the gold difference, just getting insta blown up, and it's like, well, can't do much about that.
Yeah, and like Silas was just not dying, and yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Do you have any other follow-up questions, Abba?
No. My team is just spamming me to not leak out informations anymore, so I think I should.
Well, I look forward to watching your team, play in the future. It was very exciting to play you versus the Rat Pack. We'll have to see if there's like a revenge match into the future here.
Probably.
Probably.
Yes, I think we're gonna have schedule another game on Thursday if you guys wanna cast this one as well.
Most likely. I mean, for the most part, I'm very, very open during the week to cast anything. So we shall see.
All right.
But congratulations, Captain. Good luck with the rest of your season.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
All right. And with that interview, that will be all from us, folks. I would like to thank Abbatrombone, obviously, for joining me here today. And I would like to thank all of you fun summoners for coming out and joining us to see this first set of season 15. But good luck on the Rift. Don't lose that LP. Stay winning, everybody.
Get them W's.